Oh, oh, I'm sorry. We had no sound. Okay. Thank you, Mr. Res Rhetoric, for pointing out that I have no sound. Uh, yeah, yeah. So we got sound now. And anyway, so real quick, let me just do a 30-second recap. YouTube bad. Uh, YouTube, for some reason, their logical understanding of things is pretty skewed because I was told when I contacted a customer service representative today because I got an email from YouTube saying that basically piss off. You've got to talk to the person that abused you. I'm a victim of fraud. You've got to contact the fraudster in order to get your channel back. We sued him, genius. And so they said, well, we can't get involved between third party disputes. Meaning, us, YouTube, and somebody else. And it's like, wait a minute here. If you were hacked, that's a third party dispute. Me, YouTube, and the hacker. If somebody hacks into my account, they can set it back to the original state of affairs, right? They can put it back to the original condition. But if somebody is like social hacked, where somebody takes over your account by fraud, apparently they don't care. They don't consider that to be of any value to them to fix that. Now, I don't get that because if their excuse is that they can't get involved in third party, things, and then they would have to say, well, you were hacked. Well, you have to contact the hacker. I would love for somebody from YouTube to explain to me the difference because I asked him. He said, I can't help you on it. He's like, you got to count and ask the agent that you talked to before that emailed you. I'm like, I did. He has no answer for me. My lawyer is just like, Jesus Christ, what the hell's wrong with these people over at YouTube? He's like, they don't want to have any indemnity. They don't want to have any, legal things. And I'm like, well, wait a minute here. They're already part of the legal thing here. And their excuse is pitiful. You can't say, I'm not going to restore your account because a fraudster took it, but you can say that I'll take it for a hacker. I'm like, really? It's like, come on. Yeah, I asked numerous times, man. He would have given me an answer. He's just like, well, he legit said, I don't have an answer for you. I said, I want an official statement from YouTube for a video about why they won't fix a account taken by fraud. So, anyways. Yeah. Oh, I got my logo over Sweet's beautiful face. I got to fix that. What the hell's wrong with me there? All right, there. People are complaining. Sweet, they only watch this shit for one reason on Rum and Coke night, and it ain't me. I use her for everything. I'm such a bad man. See? No, because he's like the Bucks. He's led growth. Oh, sorry. Go ahead, Melanie. Sorry. I let her go. I said, I'm sorry. She's so quiet. It's hard to hear her. Oh, there you go. The group sound. Oh, now the guests can speak. Sorry. I had her muted. Sorry. I had the audio muted.
Oh, my
goodness. You have my permission to speak. Go ahead.
Okay. Yes, boss. So I did call them back again, and I was like, and I went on that down the lane. I was like, why won't you refund me the money? And the pitiful excuses they gave me was because they basically told me, well, you changed it yourself. I'm like, what am I supposed to do when I can't reach you guys? And the changes were supposed to be done and dusted and made. So I have to contact them before 31st of March 2020. I have to contact them regarding my tickets, my original itinerary, and then I have to make the changes to my itinerary before 31st of March. Now, when I would call them, it would take, I would stay on the line for an hour with that ridiculous music. And then after an hour, 10 minutes, it would just stop responding and the line would eventually cut off. Mm-hmm. And then if I used their online request forms, they would take 14 days to respond, minimum 10 to 14 days. And I'm like, if it's going to take this long, by 31st of March, I'm going to run out of time. And then I spent around $4,700 on that bloody ticket. I will lose all of that. So I went ahead and changed it myself. And I was like, because the circumstances are special in this moment, the lockdown is happening and you can't travel international. So it's only the question of refund and I should get it back. And I had a shouting match with the personnel. I understand it's not their fault, but I think so they don't understand the issue. And I told them I wanted escalated, and I told them that if they're not going to give me my money, my hard-earned money, I'm going to take it to small claims court if I can. So let's see what happens.
So this is what I don't understand. You would figure these companies
Yeah.
would do everything in their power to satisfy people right now, because getting customers back after all this is going to be difficult.
Yep.
I've told them, I'm like, next time I'll go to some other airline. Like, I'll pay a little bit more, but at least I hopefully will get better service.
Yeah, well, all these service
And-
agents, they don't know how to answer questions. I mean, like I was asking the guy, I was like, look, I understand that you don't have the empowerment to fix this. I get this. But I said, how do I get an official statement from YouTube on their policy of how if an account's taken by fraud or for scamming? And I'm not saying that this was essentially scamming, but ostensibly, there's not much difference. I mean, fraud is fraud, right? And I was like, you know, what is their stance on this? And guess what? I have not found anywhere I could find none of this. Reds, maybe with your connections, maybe you can get with French or something and find out what the hell YouTube's policy is on fraud, because I sure the hell don't get it.
You think French can do anything? Oh boy, are you out of luck. They screw him over and he's an actual lawyer.
That's pretty sad.
What? Wow.
Yeah.
Yeah, they screw him over all the time. He has countless videos on his channel about it, about how YouTube has screwed him over. Him, a copyright attorney, over. Yeah, YouTube screws him over all the time.
Yeah, I'm not expecting
Interesting system.
Yeah, I'm not expecting any resolution from YouTube, and that's okay.
Not without the court telling them.
Yeah,
to do
yeah.
something.
And we're going to get the court. We're going to get the judge to order it eventually. But unfortunately, because of everything that's going down.
Yeah.
But but you figure they would do the right thing. But
It's frustrating, yeah.
just like Manya's situation, you figure they would do the right thing, right? But by the way, Manya, did you do the eye thing? You didn't do the eye flutter and do the tear, and that always works.
You can't see you when you're on the phone.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I wasn't on the video. I would have definitely.
So you
gone
lose your
for
power
it.
on the
I'm
phone.
very
That's
good
why
at that.
you do a webcam.
You guys want to hear a funny joke?
Yes.
Yes.
My next D&D character will be serious, dark, and intense. I repeat to myself as I create a lizard folk bard named Oxford, who specializes in dual-wielding sickles, adaptive camouflage, and putting evildoers to sleep. Essentially, a karma chameleon, if you will.
Yay.
Wow.
I hate
All
that's where
work
that
for that
went.
little return.
I have one other one if you feel like you want to die.
Oh, no.
Would you like?
Sure, why not?
Yeah? Okay. How to use the word and in 5 times in a row grammatically. A man owned a store called This and That and hired another man to make a sign for it. When it was finished, the owner inspected the work. He discovered that the spaces were wrong. So he said, "The space between this and that, this and that is different. Please fix it."
Oh my goodness.
Great.
Oh, this is a keep on coming.
So Sweet, you have an admirer in the live chat now.
Yes, I noticed that.
He just ignored everybody else, right? Didn't mention Hellbound
Just
Heathen
Steve?
or
I'm pretty sure it's just
Manya.
Steve.
I was gonna say I'm looking. I don't know. Thank you.
People that Terry, everybody lost their Spaniard, so I just took away all Spaniards except for Cheshire, Reds. I think Manya has one. And
Now I don't.
For some reason, I gave Sweet one too.
I don't have a spanner, but I don't mind it.
Okay.
Not having it either.
Oh, you don't.
So.
Okay. Does Sweet have
Terrible
one?
character ideas.
Gotta be dangerous having Sweet have one.
Of course I have one.
That's
I always have
dangerous.
one.
Now I have to agree with her and all.
I don't know
things.
why. I didn't
I
really
don't know
care,
why
but
but she's too nice to time anybody else. She's never going to use it.
it's
Oh,
not
you
that
know
I'm,
that.
it's not that I'm too nice. I just don't pay attention as much. And I usually have a delay. So when I go to do something, somebody else has already done it normally.
Yeah,
But if I'm the only one in the chat with one, I'll pay more attention. But
I
if
gave
see
it to
other
you just so
people-
you have the empowerment if somebody's
Yeah.
being a dipshit.
He's
You-
trying to earn brownie points.
Wine more and more now.
I don't need
I
any
have the
damn
power.
brownie points. Unless I make brownies, like really good scrumptious brownies. 'Cause- yeah, see?
I'm gonna go
See?
for some special brownies right about now.
See?
That we haven't.
Medical grade.
Oh yeah.
Terrible character
The girl can
ideas.
do.
A monk based on a European Christian archetype. They have sworn a sacred oath to defeat the giant snail plaguing the countryside.
Why
A
giant snail?
dragonborn desperately, no reason. Now there's a giant
okay.
snail in your game, I guess.
Sure, why not?
A dragonborn desperately trying to convince the party that they're really in an Akora with a skin condition that made all their feathers fall out. Your standard horny bard, but they play a washboard. I really like this one. A sentient hat piloting a mannequin.
Oh wow, that's
Yeah.
awesome.
I like that
That's
one.
creative.
Harry
I like that a
Potter,
lot.
Are you sure? If it's not Slytherin, then Gryffindor.
The sorting hat.
A
Yeah.
dark elf who's afraid of the dark and terrified of spiders. A peasant farmer who joined the adventure because they're going through a midlife crisis and want to find themselves. I like that
There
one
you
too.
go.
That's a good
That's
character.
a great one.
How about a pissed off YouTuber that can't get his channel back?
A druid
Or
who got
a pissed off
involved.
New Zealander that can't get their plane flight ticket
A
reimbursed.
dis.
Yeah,
Oh,
that's too
so
much
it'd
like
be
real
it
life.
would be it'd be a disgruntled shopkeeper that got the party pissed off. A druid who got involved because they're the party's weed dealer. and a werewolf who doesn't believe in the moon.
You know the druid has to be the weed dealer.
The
Clearly.
werewolf that believes the moon is a hologram.
All druids are herbalists. That's a fact.
Well, it makes sense because the werewolf would always transform and not remember what happened, so they would never see the full moon.
Nice.
Makes sense.
Oh, I like that
So,
one.
do you turn into a werewolf when it exactly is like it's no longer just a little slither, like it's an absolute full moon?
I
Or
think
can
it
you
might
slightly
depend on.
turn a little bit when it's like halfway there?
I think it depends on the DM.
Hmm.
I think the DM can make that decision if you want them to always go. It'd be funnier if they always transformed at nighttime, but depending on how much of the moon was showing would depend
Exactly.
how much their alignment would change.
There you go. How much their wolf features would come up.
By the way, what are you guys drinking? I forgot to
Yeah.
ask. Chess, what are you drinking? What is it, a blue Caraco or something?
You think it's something fancy dancy? It's vodka and Gatorade.
Oh, blue Gatorade?
I was just gonna ask if it was
Classic.
Gatorade.
Yeah, no, that's
Or Powerade.
that's not fancy, by the way.
Powerade.
That's what people
Sweet-
in like deep
sweet
south
new.
will drink when they'll mix it. Well, it'll probably be more like Thunderbird and Gatorade.
Sweet
That's
soul
like
me
you
out.
want to drink vodka, but you don't have anything to mix it with, so you just
Gatorade.
grab the next closest thing. Like,
There are a
I
few
mix
things that
with
don't
vodka.
go
What
with
the hell?
vodka, yeah.
I mixed.
I was
Hey,
gonna try.
I had Cabernet Sauvignon and Diet Ginger Ale, and it was
Yeah.
freaking good.
I was gonna try and trick you guys a little bit more by putting a lime in it.
Umbrella.
Hey, Brandon shaved.
Yeah.
Yeah, it looks good, Brandon.
It's a pedal. It's a
No,
pedal
it's
or
good.
what?
Yeah, I like it. I like
Oh,
it
it's
that way.
fantastic.
Yeah.
Yeah,
clean
it's
cut.
good.
Oh, sweet. Okay. Maybe I'll keep it up.
Yeah, after this whole COVID-19, why don't you go out to the bar and
Yeah, no.
don't go out now though.
Flaunt it, flaunt it.
That's bad. You know,
I
it's so,
am
you
gonna
know what's
than
funny? So,
just my face.
We went from his beautiful face to Mikey.
hang on one second. I felt like
Ouch.
I had cleaned up really nicely the other day. It's one of the reasons I didn't do today, and I don't want to go on camera. But I cleaned up really nicely the other day, and I was looking good. I was feeling good. I was energetic, and I was like, God, I would really like to go out to this little club that I have down here, and have a drink and have some food. Ah, fuck. And it was just made me depressed. I was like, I feel really good. I look great, and yet couldn't go anywhere. Speaking of looking great, Mikey. Hey, Mikey.
Hey, bro.
Hi everyone. How are
what's up,
you?
Oh, you're hiding.
It looks like a
behind the
werewolf
mic,
who's
Smart.
hiding from the
Yeah.
world.
Look at his setup.
I figured this
Doesn't
would
believe in the moon.
be Lisa's.
He's practicing social distance. Leave him alone.
What do you?
This would be least offensive for Sweet.
I mean, you need to
Well, I
calm
think-
down with. I know he's trying to make a comeback, but you need to calm down with the Leafy impression.
Oh,
Yeah,
ouch.
Mikey's been social distancing for a while, but I believe the judge called that a restraining order.
Yeah, there's a lot of public places I'm not allowed to go anymore. He
Yeah.
gave me a whole sheet.
It was actually
I haven't memorized
Really?
it yet.
Oh,
You have to be
I haven't memorized
10
it.
feet outside your door is your limit. Get shocked if you go further.
This ankle thing keeps beeping. I don't know what that means. I've been trying to charge it.
Yeah. So hey, real quick, guys. So I guess this one guy
time for another swig.
he decided to make a video response to your old partner there, Mikey. Did you catch that?
Oh yeah,
Yeah, I saw that.
I did.
I saw that.
And I didn't watch it. I didn't
was,
watch ProLib's video because I don't watch him because he's an idiot, and I
I
just don't
did.
watch stupid people's
And
stuff.
it was so.
Yeah, well,
I
this guy.
haven't watched the response yet.
The response was good. I mean, I don't know this guy very
I watched
well.
both the videos side by side. Yeah, it was a good response, and
Hello.
kind of
It's
shattered everything that ProLib was putting up, like all the strawmans, like right out the window.
Yeah, his name's
Done and
Dark
dusted.
Master, the Dark Master. I'll put the link.
Oh
That-
yeah.
That's
I've
cool.
heard of him.
Yeah, I've heard of him because I think I've watched something else by him before. But I watched his video, and yeah, I was like, just by the clips that I've seen from ProLib that I didn't watch his video, I was like, Jesus Christ, he has no idea what the fuck he's talking about. He got everything wrong. He strawmanned, and he had no evidence for anything because there isn't any for what he claimed. Go figure.
Yeah,
What do
he
you know?
made quite big claims in this video, and I was like, making such big claims, you gotta put up evidence to like substantiate them. But that's where all the credibility just goes.
Yeah,
out
like I
the
said, I didn't
window.
watch the whole thing, but I'll just go. I believe this Dark Master guy that he never.
I knew
showed
it was
anything.
gonna be I knew it was gonna be a dumpster fire from him because I saw him commenting on somebody else's video who kind of started that whole shtick.
Mm. So Mikey, so what this Mikey?
I think she had something to do with horses. I don't know.
Yeah, it could be. Yeah. So Mikey, you actually teamed up with this idiot. I'm sorry.
Yeah, I
Say
met
it
him
like
on.
that. Jesus. It's not like it's his fault.
Well, live and learn,
I
right?
met him on.
Yeah, God, Mikey, what were you
Yes,
thinking?
Jesus, Mikey.
Jeebus.
Just kick him.
I met him on an idiot's channel. So thanks, Steve.
That makes
That was-
now it
that
makes
was
sense.
Steve's channel.
That makes sense.
So it's all actually Steve's
Yes.
fault.
Yes, blame me.
I didn't see that.
It all
Steve's
going
gonna
to
bring people
I'm
together.
gonna
We-
stop
we gotta
introducing
have a
people
merch.
together, man. Usually it works
We
out,
gotta
but
have a
not
merch
always.
with that tagline. It's all Steve's fault.
Yeah.
It's
There you
gonna be
go.
Awesome.
I didn't see the.
Steve kicks puppies.
I didn't see the part where he was looking for co-hosts on Steve McRae's channel in his response video, though.
Oh.
I didn't see
Is,
that.
is he looking for anybody
all the
else?
times that he was on Rum and Coke after Lawrence Krauss was on there.
Yeah, that he didn't say anything.
Yeah. All those times
Hey,
that
you
he
guys
was
want to
on.
hear another?
Convenient.
Yeah.
You guys want to hear another funny joke?
Sure.
Yes.
Divination specialists are often portrayed as passive servants of fate. Shuck the stereotype by playing yours a bit more proactive. Wizard, yeah, I foresee that before the next full moon, this house will be nothing but charred ruins. Scared villager. Are you sure? Wizard, throwing a lit torch into the house's window. Yeah, I'm pretty sure.
Oh.
Well, he was right. You can't blame him.
It's an oracle.
I was
Oh,
coming up one time. I was trying to come up with like realistic cons that you could do as a wizard, because you would only need to be like a low-level wizard in like a low-educated town, and all you would need is like thaumaturgy and prestidigitation, and you could basically be a haunted house.
What about Fool's Gold? Do they still have that spell?
Oh man.
It's not called that anymore, but yeah, you can still do that.
You just
And you can, like-
create gold and spend it.
Yeah, you create gold. You can, and then if you're using prestidigitation, you can like write messages, and if you're like on walls and stuff with magic, that won't come off until the next day. And then you've got like you can light candles, you can slam doors open and close. You can like so you can make little fireworks. You can make sounds and smells, minor illusion. You can make like whispers and make people hear shit. And it's like so you can essentially torment this town, and then come in and be like, "I'll save the day," and just con them out of a shitload of money.
So you could have like a whole show around a drunk wizard that just gets
That's
starts
like
creating all these
like
problems
Spider-Man
just
Far
for the
Away
hell of
from
it.
Home shit.
Yep.
See,
Cool.
I just got a nice message from an admin from another group, and this is a nice message, right? This one basically says, "Hey, I'm so glad that you
Fuck
joined
you,
our."
Steve.
No, they said, "Hey, so glad you joined our group. It's small. You know, I've been a huge fan. The people here are not going to probably understand a lot of your arguments, so just keep that in mind." So so basically, you're saying, I said, Roger, I'm like, hey, basically, play nice and explain in detail. I can do that. Yeah.
So he
Yeah.
said.
Yeah, but that's
It's
nice.
like I don't know why people like some people after like a certain age they just like they refuse to absorb information anymore, and there's for some like they just think that no one can come up with something better than what they have already decided on. Like, always be ready to change your position, man, because there's so much information out there.
Yeah,
And
but most groups are like either, hey, Steve, Steve joined. This is awesome. Let's have a conversation. Other ones are like, oh my God, life is over as we know it.
I don't understand. So Steve's the bully.
Burn it all down.
Bye.
They do that. No, I've seen messages, and even I have admins and admin chats that they send me some stuff, and it's fucking hilarious, man. It's like, oh my God, Steve's here. It's this is the whole group is going to go to shit, and I'm like, you have 6 messages like an entire week. You might have 6 posts. Wow, yeah, you're already there, man. It's not going to get much worse.
I don't understand. What are people afraid of? What are you going to do?
I don't know.
I mean, what is the worst
Bite their
possible thing
pee
you
off or
could do?
something? I don't know.
Logic them to death.
Yeah, the
I
worst.
think what they're afraid is that Steve is going to ask them to cite their sources, and then they won't find any sources, and then they will just go, "Oh my God!" He's asking.
Well, then they're wrong, and they have to accept that. I mean, I don't understand why people get so upset about being wrong. If you're wrong, you'll learn
Some of the
something,
messages I've seen,
right?
Yeah.
Am I right there, Steve, or am I
Yeah,
wrong?
I mean,
If you're wrong
no,
about
that's not
something, you're gonna learn
entirely true. Hold on. That's not entirely true. Ask Reds. He learns
Yeah, but
people
your
a lot of
opinion
shit a
doesn't
lot of
matter.
the time.
You've got to. Yeah, you're a woman. It doesn't matter.
Well, yeah, but that's fine. I don't need my opinion.
the gynocracy
This
is
isn't an
over.
opinion.
Shots fired.
Oh, hold on. No, this isn't an opinion. This is a fact. Reds learns a lot of flat earthers, a lot of things, but they still don't actually know or educate themselves worth of shit.
Well, I don't.
And they're
yeah,
still
they
wrong.
don't learn though.
Yeah, I
They-
understand what you're saying.
Yeah. Okay. Here's
That's
the
the
thing.
difference in attitude. It's the willingness
No,
to
some
learn.
of them,
Here's
some
the
of them
thing.
do and just lie about it.
In
Yeah,
order
but
to
what
learn
I'm saying
something-
is, if
Yeah.
in order for you to learn
if
something,
somebody-
it has to stop when it goes in one
Yeah.
ear. It has to stop it before it can go out the other. Right? What was that?
Yeah.
Hellbound?
I didn't know you were still talking. Sorry. I was just going to say that people should. I mean, if you get something wrong and somebody corrects you and gives you some new information, and you find out that even though this is what you believed and what you thought, somebody shows you some new information. If you don't change your opinion from that point, then you're just willfully being ignorant.
You're a liar.
Yep.
Yeah.
So,
I used to be like that I would refuse to absorb information, and I would just go into this, and get into a fight and a verbal, spat with people online. And yeah, it's taken a while to work on that and to come down a notch.
Mhm.
Yeah. I used to do
Yeah,
that.
of course.
I used to be an asshole in short.
yeah, you can get pissed off about something, find out you're wrong, but eventually you're going to have to come to terms with it.
Yeah.
I
Unless you wanna
figure,
just-
figure
Right.
I figure I'll cross that bridge when I get there.
What you'll do is you'll cross the bridge, burn it right after you're done, so nobody else, so you can start hiding your tracks.
Like
I never thought
like
that.
the definition wizard, eh?
I wish I could live at that
Exactly.
level of delusion.
Self-delusion. What spell level is that?
I could teach you, but I'd have to charge.
You need a master.
Does your milkshake bring all the
I'm
girls to your
broke.
yard?
Yeah, you need a master at this delusion or
Yeah, I can't
Self-deception.
believe we made that reference.
Barred out of nowhere. I rolled a nat 20 for seducing the dragon. DM. The dragon becomes interested in you enough not to kill you immediately. I rolled another nat 20. Gonna tap that soon. I didn't even. Alright. The dragon takes you to its lair for immediate copulation. Upon arrival, due to obvious incompatibility in anatomy, the dragon polymorphs into a human form. Nice. What does she look like? Exactly like you. Wait, what? I'm saying you can go fuck yourself.
Yeah.
I was gonna say I didn't know bestiality
Yes.
was a part of this.
D&D can be anything you want it to
so.
be.
Real quick,
It
speaking of
can be.
bestiality,
There's rules for that.
what was SJ's thing about bestiality? Bestiality.
Oh, that's a
brothel?
good question.
What's she trying to make an
I
argument
didn't
about
see
that?
that.
No idea, sorry.
I only
Yeah, I
see
would-
what's screenshotted for me.
I was trying to find the original tweet so I could get some context for it too, and I didn't find it.
Maybe she
I
deleted
don't
it,
know.
or
It's
sorry, I do remember somewhere there
It's
was a tweet,
2020.
but
It's 2020. Who needs context anymore?
Context.
come on,
Everything's
man.
better
Drunk
without
people need
context,
context all the time.
well,
What-
there
what
was a
was the
story
date
about
on it?
bestiality. Sorry.
Gross.
Sorry.
I didn't hear you, Brandon. What?
Well, I was gonna say that there was a story about bestiality in the Bible, isn't there?
Probably.
I think so.
There's a little bit of everything in the Bible, isn't there?
Yeah. It's not ringing a specific bell for me, but
Yeah, but
it's in there.
Which Bible? Which Bible and which version?
Yeah, right.
Oh, shit.
That's an appropriate response.
I know there's a bear that tears little boys apart. So
Yeah, that was
Yeah.
because God was like, no, don't call my prophet bald.
yeah, they made fun of his
Yeah.
bald head,
Yeah.
and so they get torn to shreds by a bear.
2 bears.
Yeah, the bear killed
Yeah.
42 of the
Because
boys.
that's good. That's justice.
Parenting.
Yeah.
Prophet
101.
had a very nice head. Very nice bald head. You don't want to mock people with bald heads. Right up there with eating shellfish.
You know
and
what would
mixed
have been a
fabrics.
better way to fix things for everybody? God making the prophet God could have just granted prophet hair.
Yeah, treat
Yeah,
your
but I don't
prophet
think he
well.
was a prophet, wasn't he?
That
just
went over
some-
my head. That just went over my head.
No, it was
Oh,
I don't
bad.
yeah. I don't remember that he was a prophet either, but been a while since
Yeah, they call the prophet Baldy or something. Doesn't it?
I just put that in a video I did. So I just put that out. I can't remember it though. I don't think it was a prophet. It was just like some random guy.
I thought it was a lesson in how not to tease people in general. I don't think he was anyone special, but I could be wrong. I don't remember.
It was Kings 2, 2, 3, 2, 4 to 2. Let me see, Kings 2.
All right, let's get Jim in here.
Please, George.
Where's Jim? Bible
But
stuff.
yeah, but
Scripture chase.
imagine like you're a kid and you tease somebody for their bald head and you get torn apart by a bear, and that's considered justice.
Here it
Well,
is.
I like
Why
to
you gotta
imagine-
mock
Wait,
God?
do it again.
That's an eye for an eye.
This is a
We have more
So here
morals
it is,
than
I got
God.
it.
This is a
Understand that
bear
he's
sent
part
by
of
God.
society
Which makes me
ever.
think that, like,
Alicia is
it just makes me think that the bears aren't like the bear wasn't native. Like Elijah. The bear's not native there. It makes me think that
Well-
because it's like
I got a question
God
for you.
bear.
I got a question for you. If the bears mauled the prophet, was that a involuntary imposition of will, making
Certain.
God immoral because he forced the bears to do something against their autonomy?
Maybe he summoned it. It was a celestial bear.
just don't
That's the
have
thing.
autonomy.
Maybe. It's-
But even with people, there's free will until God decides they don't have free will, but then they do
Oh,
have
I
free
think it'd
will.
a lot
They'll
better if
change-
yeah,
you know,
they
it's-
didn't have free will.
Yeah, a
I
better,
think
makes
so.
sense.
a better
It makes sense.
example. Yeah,
Just go
a
with
better
it.
example for that, Steve. A better argument for that, Steve, would be Pharaoh.
Mhm.
God
Changing
hardened
his heart.
Pharaoh's
Yeah.
heart. Pharaoh made a decision.
Mhm.
Pharaoh made the decision to let the Jews go, and God said, "No, you're not going to do that. I'm going to harden your heart and
Yep.
force you to make the decision
Yeah.
which then caused the death of the firstborn of all the Egyptians." So God could, I don't know, show off, I guess.
So God
So does anyone
decided-
really have free will if God can change it at any time he wants to and make you do
Well,
stuff?
Well, I don't think we have free will
Yeah.
regardless, but yeah.
No, but I'm saying even from that side of the belief.
I
That's
don't know
one of those
many
things,
people that
you
think
know,
we actually do free will. And when you ask a
that
theist,
bother
You don't
me.
believe you don't believe we have free will?
no. I
But
don't.
you're-
Nope, I don't
Like I
either.
said, I don't think many people do. I see some theists try to justify it, but I don't think they understand the concept very well.
So what
No,
makes you
because our environment
what makes
kind
you
of-
say that?
Influences our decisions, doesn't it?
Yeah. So
What-
here's the reason why I don't think we have free will. Free will is the libertarian free will is a position that we have a free choice to make between any two decisions, undue influence of any kind, external, internal, and you would make the same decision over and over again, given the same exact conditions. So you wouldn't make the same decision. You could actually be, between X or Y. And the problem I have with that is this: I go to determinism. Okay, so let's say Hellbound, you had a decision. You had a decision to come in here or not, right? So about 30 minutes ago, we round time. We went back in time, and we had the exact same conditions for you. Everything ceteris paribus, meaning all things equal. A free will advocate who thinks there's libertarian free will would argue indeterminacy, that he would not be able to tell which decision you're going to make, to go into the hangout or not. But a determinist said, no, given all the same exact conditions, all things being exactly equal, all influences upon you whatsoever or that exist or don't exist, everything the same, you have to make the same decision every single time. It's deterministic. Because I think it's deterministic. The
What
reason being
happens if you start going into
well, let me tell you why I think it's deterministic.
what happens if you start going?
Go ahead.
Okay, go ahead.
That doesn't make any sense.
Me? All right.
Yeah, let Chess ask a question.
I'm gonna throw a wrench in here, and I'm just gonna throw a wrench in here and say, well, if you start going into multiverse ideas, then you start going into you actually made both decisions.
Yeah, but this isn't you're talking about multi-world hypothesis. We're not talking about that, right? We're not talking about a splitting of actual ontologies. What we're talking about is besides, if you went back in time, you would go before that split occurred, right? Before the collapsing of the wave function.
It would split whenever the decision is made.
Yeah, but in this world,
it would split whenever the decision is made.
Right?
But what I'm saying is by that's just whatever we're experiencing. But what I'm saying is that I don't see how that philosophy would even be able to be applied if multiverse theory is accurate, or that hypothesis is accurate, because then it's a matter of every decision that ever could have been made has been
it's
made.
multi-world, not multiverse, but yeah.
So then how does free will how would free will apply?
The way they would
to
argue
that?
it is that even though there's multi-worlds, right? This is the only one that matters to us, right? I mean, we the one where we're in
for now.
Yeah, whatever split we do, right? I mean, so the hellbound heathen that's with me now, whatever state he's in, would be the same hellbound heathen a half hour ago with respect to
I feel like
our
Steve's
existence.
ignoring my question so he can get to his point.
Well, no, I think that kind of answered
Okay.
it. But
it's
anyways, like I said, the
different
reason being hellbound is if you're making a decision, and everything's exactly the same, then I would need a reason to say what is the difference between why you made the decision one way and not the decision another way. Right? There has to be something that influences you in some way, or why you. It's just arbitrary.
There will be another variable there.
So
What's the variable? Right. What's the variable?
So maybe I misunderstand your argument. Are you saying we don't have free will, or we do have free will?
No, we don't have free will.
Don't have free will.
Correct.
Okay. So the moment that I made the decision was free will.
No, you have will.
Right.
You have the ability to make a
Then
decision.
what's the difference between will and free will?
Because free will says that decision
free
is...
will depends that you had every permutation and combination present at that point of all the variables that were around you. So that's when you have free will.
I mean, I'm not convinced we have conscious free will anyway. Since our consciousness is the last thing to figure it out.
Free will means that
That's
you're not
the thing.
influenced by
We
anything.
make decisions.
You could
before
okay.
we
You
know
can
we
have
made them.
you can have different factors that come in, like different information. Like I could have looked at the time and said, "Oh, I have to do this at X amount of time. Maybe I shouldn't join the hangout," or "Oh, I'm going to do this or I'm going to do that." So yes, many variables may come into the
every one of those goes into your mind. And every one of
information.
them
Elements of information may come in, but
It's
essentially, when it comes down to it, if I repeated that moment over and over and over again, doesn't matter how many times, I'm still going to make a choice.
Right. But the determinant says you're going to make the same choice over and over again with the exact same conditions. If not, there has to be a variable condition.
We are making the same choice, so we don't have the free will.
That argument doesn't have any support. I mean, what's supporting that argument?
Because there's no variable that has changed. In order to have a differentiation between two states, there has to be something that differentiates them. There has to be a reason. Why?
Yeah.
If I have a car if I have a car and it's moving to the right or moving to the left, right? There has to be a force acting upon it, right? There has to be something causing that car to move. If all things being equal, if all the vectors are the same for all the forces on that car, it's going to go the same direction every single time. There is no possible way that it's going to be any different, right? So all things being equal, the car has to go in the same direction as it was initially. And so if I see a car go to the right, let's say it turns to the right rather than turns left. Doesn't matter what the driver's thinking. Doesn't matter. There's been forces on that car, right? And if I rewind the tape and I go backwards in time, I could tell you with the surety every single time that car is going to go with one direction or another, right? Because of the forces. Taking away the free choice. I mean, the guy is not there behind the wheel, right? Just work with the analogy, right? But all the vectors are being the same. That car has to go the same direction every single time. Now, when you throw in a driver that has a free will, he has to have something that influences him that causes it to make a decision that's any different. If not, he's going to make the same decision every single time.
Vectors too, right?
Right.
Okay. The car doesn't have
some type of vectors. Yeah. Okay.
I don't know. I don't understand your argument.
I think
So
well,
what he's saying
I think-
is, for example, like when you said that if what you're interpreting that you made a decision, you're taking that as a choice. That I had a choice and I picked a choice but what Steve is saying, that was a decision, that wasn't a choice. It can be an illusion of choice
Yes.
because because you thought you had choices. But if we went back to in the time and we had the same variables, like looking at the clock, the time of the day, whether you had food on your table or not, or did you have enough time till the evening, was anyone visiting you, if all those factors remain same and all the events previous to you making that decision remain same, you will make the same choice.
I
So
think-
it looks like
Right.
there's an illusion of choice, but it's just you're making the same decision over and over
Yeah,
again.
I agree with
I
that.
think
Under
another
the same
way.
Yeah, but
circumstance.
that doesn't take away
Un-
doesn't take away the choice. That doesn't take away the
So-
free will.
right, but you
Okay,
would
I
have
might be
made
able to-
You're just saying if you went
I-
back
Go
in
ahead,
time,
Trish,
chances
yeah.
are the same thing would happen over and over again.
I might be able to phrase this in another way. If you make a decision, if you make a choice, and what is the factor that's going to change the decision you made? Usually
It would have to be
information,
something.
Nice one.
right?
Mhm.
Some kind of additional stimulus happens. So if the stimulus remains the same and nothing changes, you have no choice but to make the decision you did over and over and over again, unless that information changes.
Right.
Yes, but
right.
okay, but that's not true because you could have this. You could come to the same decision, and then, or excuse me, you could come to a different decision. I could have
How?
all of that, all the factors be the same, every single element be the same, and I could still instead of joining the hangout, I could decide not to.
Yeah,
So
so
I
I don't
still
think I don't
have-
think that's correct.
So okay,
Yeah,
I would like
that's
to
why I
add
like
to
to
that
reject.
there. Well,
Yeah,
Because
how
well,
is a
you
good
guys-
question?
Right.
How is a good
Like-
question?
So what
How?
I think is what Hellbound is saying is that he'll go, like he can go, meh, I'm not going to attend it, right?
Mhm.
You can make that. But what we all are saying here is like what Shesh and I and Steve are saying is there will be something more than what there will be another factor there, something, another stimulus there, instead of all the ones that were there previously to help you make that choice of no.
Yeah.
There
And I
will be
also believe that-
something different.
Right.
Would
Even
you
if
wa-
it's simply
There will
that
be
you
something
decide
different. So
that you want
if we
to
keep
join.
all the conditions same, even your subconscious, whatever is going on in your subconscious is same, you will make the same decision.
Yes.
If you're making a different decision, then it's something was there.
I think something has to
either in your
change.
subconscious or somewhere. So there's some extra zing there that helps you make.
A lot of our
Yeah,
consciousness and our ability to decide, a lot of that comes from factors such as like chemical reactions, right? We believe we all have hormones. We all know that specific hormones will trigger certain things that cause people to think differently. This is given, right?
Mm-hmm.
So unless there's been something changed, I don't know how anybody would make a different decision given all things being equal. I would have to have some kind of mechanism by which the consciousness, which I think based on a physical substrate. I think the consciousness is intricately involved in the physicality of the mind. I don't think you can have consciousness without a mind. So if the mind is exactly the same state, if all the microstates are exactly the same, then the consciousness has to be the same. I mean, there's no way you would have a different consciousness if all the states of the matter are exactly the same. Right?
Okay, I understand. I understand where you're coming from, and I understand your analogy, but I don't think that it's convincing enough to say that we don't have free will. We have free will. We exercise free will.
I don't
all
think
the
so.
time.
We
Well,
exercise will.
I think
the ability
the question
to
comes
decide.
to well, the question with Hellbound, I think, comes down to how. You said that you could easily come to another conclusion. How? In what way could you possibly have come to another conclusion?
What would influence that other
You
conclusion?
can just. Well, okay. All right.
Are you a substance
Let me
dualist, by the way,
back up.
Hellbound?
When I'm saying,
because this requires probably dualism in
What?
a lot of ways. Well, you would have to be a materialist. Wouldn't fall. I don't see how you could be a materialist and accept
I don't-
indeterminacy.
yeah, I don't know what label I am.
Okay, go ahead.
Oh,
I haven't
do
found
this.
one that fits yet.
Well, that's good. It's good to not adopt one if you're not sure.
Yeah. No.
Definitely.
I mean, I really enjoy philosophy. I love philosophy. I mean, I remember talking about stuff like this, sitting around the table with my buddies back in the day. So I enjoy conversations like this. And I know that we discuss free will and all the big questions like what is truth and all these other things. But free will for me is your decision to do something. You have that. You have that ability no matter what.
So
even if you're stuck in like, huh? Even if you're stuck in like, a military thing where you wake up at a specific time, you do everything. Everything is laid out for you. You still have free will.
Well,
So
I think you.
that-
Sorry, go ahead.
No,
Sweet.
I'm done. I'm done.
I'll give you a super chat real quick if I can read it.
Oh yeah, go ahead. Go ahead, Steve.
Helios $10 says Steve missed something important when Chess brought up the multi-world theory. There's no guarantee that you'll go down the same wave function on the second go around. This is true. If you have a branch off and you go down that other world, sure. If you went, well, that's the problem with going back in time,
I think Steve
right?
was just trying to get to the point, right? I think he was just trying to get to the point.
Yeah.
He didn't want to play with my wrench. It's okay.
But yeah, well, I don't subscribe to that
wrench.
theory anyways.
Chess has a wrench?
I'm not a multi-world. I tend to Copenhagen. I think there actually is a collapse of the wave function, but whatever.
I think you run into a problem when you get into whether or not you're making a decision, and one of the things is that this is the last part of you to know that you've
That's
even made a
exactly
decision.
what I was
going to
say. Yeah.
Yeah.
Hey,
Yeah,
so
that's
we
true.
same
A lot
page.
of times,
As usual.
look, a lot of times we make a decision without our knowing about it, right? I mean, most of our decisions,
That's- yeah.
Oh, yeah.
most of them are
Because sometimes they're-
unconscious. But here's something interesting. For example,
Yeah.
if I reach out and I touch a hot stove, okay, my brain, even though I'm not aware of it, right, my brain has already recognized for some reason that it's had a hot stove, and it flinches away from it before my brain even recognizes there's pain involved. So when people say, well, you touch a hot stove and you recoil in pain, really that's not always the case, because sometimes you can recoil before your brain even, well, you recognize that you're pain, even though your brain has recognized it. Your brain recognizes its pain. It has done its thing. It's an involuntary action, right? But then you recognize the pain, but they're so close together. It seems like you're saying, it seems it's an illusion, right? It seems like, oh, I put my hand on this hot plate and I recoil because it was hot and it hurt. Well, it didn't really hurt because you're not even aware of your pain. The brain is, though.
Yeah.
So
why did you?
I work at
Why did you
McDonald's.
touch
I
the
worked
stove?
on those stoves like so many times.
Well,
on those
one of the
hot
main.
plates. Yeah.
If you want a
Why
really
did
good
you touch the
example,
stove?
well, you can make
if you want to,
For-
well, exactly.
It
Hold on.
can happen.
Okay, hang on, hang on. Go ahead, Chess.
One of the best. One of the best examples for that answer is, well, why did you put your hand on the stove? Is why did you eat? You didn't make why did you choose to eat an apple? You were hungry. You don't consciously choose to be hungry. That is not a decision.
Yeah, I think Hellbound confuses free will with just will. And free will
Hold
again
on.
is the position that you have decisions you can make without any influence. And I think we're always having influence, right? I mean,
The
so we have to make a
simplest way-
decision based upon our influences, but it's not truly a free choice.
Can
Right.
can we have a
So,
better
yeah, no,
example?
yeah,
Can we
you're
have a better
absolutely
example? Can Steve touch a hot stove real quick, just so I can get the visual?
Just so we can.
Okay.
I
There's
can
only-
guarantee that
there's-
There's a lot of
It's been
hot
like-
things in here I want to touch, but a stove is not one of them. And Mikey's going, yeah, I know you do, baby. All right, what, Manya?
Steve, but just for science, just go on. Just put your hand on the stove, just for science.
So it has
Okay, last time a guy told me to put his hand
Wow.
somewhere, put my hand
So
somewhere.
It has happened with me when where what has happened is when I started working on the hot plates in the kitchen, so I was told the temperature, both the cover, so they're like, it's hot, it will melt your skin off. Times when you're cleaning them, you accidentally brush your hands off. Now, if my hands are already brushed off at that point, but I still drop the thing. I'm like, it's touched the upper plate and it's gone away. The contact's done, and I've moved away from the hot plate. But I still react. I still go, whoa, like that. Why?
Yeah.
Because it's involuntary action. And then I don't feel pain at that time. I won't.
And
It's after a few seconds that when I start feeling the burn, and I'm like, okay, I need ice.
I would also posit
then
that every decision we make, again, is based upon your brain states, and your brain states are based upon chemicals
Yeah.
and molecular states. And so every decision we make is influenced by something, whether it's external or internal. It is always influenced by something. And free will is the position. There is no influence that you can have. I mean, there are decisions you can make with no influence. I don't see how that's possible.
So okay, so what's the okay? So I'm confusing.
And the
difference
thing is,
between-
I just want to finish
Sure.
this. And it's like I reacted after I finished my last action of going forward and backwards of cleaning.
Okay,
cleaning
somebody's
that
gonna make
thing.
that into a GIF
So-
right there. I'm
I wasn't gonna say anything out of respect.
Whatever. You can make a GIF if you want to.
This is why we have Rum and
Whatever.
Coke night.
I
Mind you
missed it.
drinking.
What happened?
Mind you, yeah, we did a replay. Can we? Brandon missed it.
The
Can we get a replay of that?
Yeah, what happened?
Wait, shake
Working on
weight.
Oh, this. Oh
Hey,
shit.
yeah, Monty, do you know how to, can you demonstrate a shake weight? Do you know how to use a
Okay.
shake weight?
Yeah.
Who, me?
Yeah, how to use? Do you know the proper technique to use a
I feel,
shake
like, I
weight?
feel like somebody does this every other
No,
stream,
I don't know
maybe.
the proper technique. Sorry.
I do it frequently, so.
I really don't know the proper technique. I have no idea.
Sweet will contact you later and give you some
Yeah,
Oh,
shake
yeah.
weight.
Yes.
Res Instance says for 20 Australian, when you make a conscious choice, that is merely your conscious mind becoming aware of a choice your subconscious has made. Before your conscious mind is aware there's a choice to be made, thus your choice is predetermined. A lot of that is the case. Yeah, I think, to some degree,
Yeah.
like I'm a dosastic and voluntarist myself, right? I don't think we choose our beliefs. I think that they are, not all of them. I think that there are some arguments for some.
So I did notice
can't
that
choose,
when I would like turn up, like I would jerk my hand away from the stove, that would be after I have actually finished my last action. So I wouldn't do that right on the spot. No, I'm going back and forth on the hot stove, and after I finished completing that action, that's when I jerk my hand away. So yeah, it's if you know what that means. Yeah, sorry, I had a brain fart. Sorry.
Yeah, I burned myself enough times.
That's what you're saying.
That's a biological
Conscious
reaction,
action
or
versus
whatever
a
you want to call it.
reaction.
Yeah.
It's like if you touch your hand to a stove, a hot stove, you're going to immediately pull it away when you feel the pain.
No. You move it away before you
That's-
feel the pain. That's what I'm saying.
Well,
your body recognizes
Well, I would support Alban
sometimes,
that
not always.
in
Depends how much you
where people have kept their hand on hot
Yeah,
stuff
I'm not
and
saying this is
they don't
always.
realize the pain until they have a look at it.
What I'm saying is there are instances of people have. I mean, you know something. Your brain has recognized something wrong, and it takes action before your consciousness has caught up to it.
Right.
You don't even have to go that
But I
far.
don't-
You could pick something a little bit, might be a little bit more complicated to understand, but is a little bit more simple. Do you choose to like somebody?
Stop reading my mind, Chash.
Yeah, I thought the same thing. I mean,
Man. Wow.
that's what all love is a complex chemical reaction, man.
Like, think about people you love and now choose
Fuck
not to love
chemistry.
them. Like,
And
can't
done.
do it.
That
And just remember, I think the same chemical for love is the same chemical for hate.
Actually, I can actually do that. It's kind of fucked up.
Well, I mean, you guys see what Rez looks like, I think,
yeah.
right? I mean, Jess, you know what Rez looked like, right? I mean, the first time you ever saw him, did you wait for
No, I
your
don't
eye, your
remember.
brain to catch up? I mean, that you recoiled in horror?
No,
or-
the whole thing has actually been wiped from my mind.
Okay. So,
And you're assuming that she loves him now. I mean, come on.
So I have this. Okay, so I think this is essentially because I undiagnosed probably a little bit of sociopathy. So I can essentially take an emotion that I'm having and turn it on or off like a switch.
Oh yeah, you told me
But
about that.
it is I can make a conscious decision.
oh yeah, I hate you all right now. I
fucking
could do that.
weird.
I could do that on a dime.
No, it's not. You still talk to me. That's not true.
Oh, yeah, what's the, yeah, but hey, I can hate you and talk to you. I don't think that's a dichotomy there.
Love-hate relationship.
Yeah.
a love-hate relationship.
Yeah, see, Sweet and I have a problem because we're
To
like
answer
biorhythm
Sweet's-
together. It's like when I'm like ugh, she's like ugh. When I'm happy, she's
Oh,
like happy.
well,
Like this,
He gets
And to-
PMS at the exact same time I do. It's sad.
we eat the
and
same
to
food.
answer
all
your-
the
Oh my
time.
God,
Steve and
your
I are synced up
cycles
better
are
than me and Chash.
Synced.
Yeah, your
Cycling.
cycles have synced.
Yeah.
And to answer Sweet's question, Red's wishes that my standards would drop that low.
Hey, it wasn't a question.
Wow.
It was just an option that I would not assume.
Hey.
Reds is being surprisingly quiet.
Well, I think that's why Reds likes older women. They don't see
Yeah,
as well.
he's in hell, but
You know.
Like Betty White.
Betty White age, yeah. Hey man, we'd all hit Betty White, man, just for the prop factor.
We got
I feel like-
I wouldn't
I feel
turn
like
Betty
Red's-
White down.
Yeah.
No way.
Reds, you're a little bit more on the Deadpool side of things, so I imagine you'd be a little bit more a B. Arthur kind of guy.
Sure.
There's the voice.
You dare not disagree.
So you don't think he'd be more of a Blanche?
No, definitely be Arthur.
Okay. Helios for $10. There's an interesting thing called high place phenomenon. When you are
Wait,
near
didn't B. Arthur play Blanche?
No, Blanche.
No, Blanche
Blanche
was
was
the
the other
younger one. Blanche was a whore. Yeah, she was a whore.
Oh,
Yeah, that was
gotcha.
the-
She wasn't
My
a
bad.
whore. Whores get paid. She was a slut. And she was
Ah,
proud.
okay, fine.
Get it right.
So he says, when you are near the edge of an extremely high place, occasionally you will feel the urge to jump off the edge, not suicidal or fear-based. I don't get that. No, I never had that.
Isn't that gravity,
My
like, just
urge is
pulling you
this: to
down
get the
or
fuck away from
something?
the ledge
Like you
and get downstairs.
feel that. It's like you're at a height and you like, is it like, yeah, you accumulate
think I-
potential energy,
I'm not
and
a
then
big
the
fan of
gravity does its
heights.
thing.
Not a big fan. Nope.
Yeah, it has been like, yeah, a thought always passes my mind, like what would it feel like to jump off? and you're like, no, you don't want any broken bones, so get away.
Yeah, I have a weird aversion to crashing into the ground at high velocities. I know it sounds weird.
I think that would be interesting for me too. I don't know why.
It would be a lot of fun until it wasn't.
Right.
Well, here's a fun fact. This is true. People think you need like a parachute of some kind to skydive, and that's not actually true. You only need a parachute to skydive more than once.
Be afraid.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
The second time requires some sort of slowing down mechanism.
Preferably.
Who wants
You
to
can be
jump out of a
creative
plane?
about it,
What
but
the
you
hell's
should.
wrong with you people? Why would you want to do that?
Has anybody ever gone
What?
skydiving here?
No.
No,
No,
love
no.
to.
Love to,
one
but
day.
no.
I wouldn't love to.
I okay.
I would.
I mean, okay. I see. I would have to think about this. If Sweet was like, "Hey, Steve, we're gonna. I want you to go skydiving with me," and I'd have to sit there and go, "Fuck, I'm in. This is the worst precarious position I could possibly be in. What do I do?" Right?
Well, you just brought up the thing about not having a parachute, so at least you'd have a parachute this time.
No, I'd be afraid she probably wouldn't give me one.
Probably.
And see,
Little
like
Steve,
I'd
you
be
don't have
obligated.
free
Like if there's
will,
only
so-
one, I would have to be like the chivalrous guy to give her the fucking parachute, and I don't get one. So that kind of sucks.
Plans to go skydiving with two people that only brings one. You do realize that if you show up there and there's only one parachute,
other
you
one's
don't have to
faulty.
jump out of.
Yeah.
You don't have to
can
jump
stay
out
in
of
the plane.
still.
You can stay in the plane.
Yeah.
Write it
He's
down.
going to make the
Why are you
jump
making it
for
complicated?
free. He's going to.
I don't think we're the ones making it complicated.
Yeah.
I'm just saying, chivalry. The people bitch about chivalry until it comes down to, oh wait, I'm gonna have to take. I have to give you my parachute. What is it if I got one? There's like 3 people up there, and there are only 2 parachutes.
You
No,
Uh,
you
why
only have
would
to
you
go
make-
down with the ship.
Yeah. Well, I'm not the pilot, so the pilot, let the pilot.
No, I understand what Steve's saying here. He's saying he will offer his parachute, but he's not going to jump off the plane, obviously. Isn't it?
No, he's not. No, Steve's jumping out of the plane without a parachute.
You know what
That's
bonsai
Or
jumping
am I
is?
making assumptions?
Mike, you ever heard of bonsai jumping?
okay, so
jumping
now you
Bonsai
do
jumping.
realize that you do realize my response to this, right? My response to this is now I'm going to go skydiving with Steve. Be like, oh no, I forgot my parachute.
Right?
Here, take my parachute. But then I'm going to jump out, but I'm going to have one of those glider suits.
Yeah. Yes. Jess, you're no sweet.
Batman.
Yeah, so
That's why
I'd be like,
that's
you're
what
on
I
your
mean.
own.
Yeah,
But
I would be not. You're elderly. You should be the one to take the parachute.
more experienced and wise. Yes, I should be the one to survive.
Oh.
Mikey, you never heard of bonsai? Bonsai parachuting is when you have a parachute and you throw it out the airplane, and then you wait a couple seconds, then you have to go chase after it. And put it on.
wow.
Oh, that's there's another name for that. It's stupid.
It's insane. Yes,
That's
stupid and insane.
I don't know any confirmed anybody ever
As long as
doing
they're not
it,
hurting
but
everybody else, it's fine.
I've seen one of the Jackass dudes do that. It was in like their last movie.
yeah, I've heard. Like,
Another
Lewis
reason
points
to
out
not
there's
do
people
it.
that were sucked out of a plane and they survive. I've heard of that happening. They're very, very loose when they hit the ground, and it's soil conditions and a whole bunch of other factors. But my philosophy, like after something experienced like that, I'd be like, I'd rather just die.
Peggy Hill from the
Yes.
documentary King of the Hill.
Yep.
She went skydiving and hit the ground
Well, we all know
So-
that was based on a true story.
based on a true story.
What?
Yes.
Okay. Okay,
King
start a
of Hellas.
D&D campaign.
Yeah.
Tell all the players to create mid-level druids with animal companions. After creating their characters, have all of the druids be kidnapped, and the players must rescue them as their animal companions.
Oh.
How many guys would go hot air ballooning?
I do it.
Would you?
No, I'm good.
Why not?
I'll do it.
That
Really?
sounds like
Yeah, I'd go.
that sounds like 15 hours in the air.
What's more
Like,
dangerous,
that
hot air
doesn't sound
ballooning
like
or
a fun
parachuting?
thing.
I think hot air ballooning is more dangerous, isn't it? I mean, unless you have to study for it. I mean,
Nah.
parachuting, you've just got to you got to go through the
Especially,
training,
especially if I try to
It's quite a
steal,
lot of skill.
especially when I try to steal that damn Pikachu, and then something's gonna pop that balloon, and then I'm gonna team rocket blast off again.
but Dr. Zayas says he sells skydiving accessories. Hey, Dr. Zayas, have you ever been skydiving? It sounds like somebody was asking about you the other day. Like, is he a real doctor? And I'm like, no. Well, he's just he's a cool guy. But I don't know why they're asking about you. You may have a stalker, Dr. Zayas, just FYI. And don't take mine, because I
Ooh.
got to keep the ones I got. Seriously, it's hard to find good stalkers. You think I'm kidding?
It's tough.
Yeah, tough.
Okay,
Man.
now I'm drunk.
You know, Brandon's been trying to get a good
I
stalker
know.
for quite some time now.
It just doesn't happen.
It's hard, right?
No.
I know.
Just put an
It is.
opinion up on the internet. You'll get one.
Oh, you really want to have some fun? You guys want to have some fun? Do this. Don't be live. But go into a Zoom and then put the Zoom information. Put that on your Facebook page and see what happens.
That's when the bots.
No,
come
I'm
out.
not doing that. No.
Do it. Don't do it. Come on. Tell me what
Maybe.
happens. Don't be streaming, by the
No.
way. Just
What?
Oh,
Zoom
yeah.
information?
somebody in the live chat. Come on. Somebody in the live chat. We got 100 people watching right now, and that's nice for this late at night.
Uh-huh.
Go on your Facebook, go into a Zoom, right? Go into one of those free Zoom things. Start a room. Don't use your meeting account. Don't be silly. But make a new room, a temporary room, and then put that information. Say, I'm having a hangout, to pass the time because of CV19. Everybody's welcome, and put it out there and see what happens within about 1 minute. And then come back and tell me. So res instances for $5.
Hey-
All of these
hey,
great D&D
okay.
ideas, and yet I have no friends, and I have nobody to play with because we've been talking about D&D forever, but we can't get a game together.
Uh,
Why can't we get a game
Scatterbrains,
together?
that's
I would
why.
play a goddamn druid if I have to. I want to play D&D.
I want to learn. I really do. I'm
Let's get a
curious.
game together.
It's sweet.
Okay.
Honestly, it's the game is one of the simplest games in the world to learn. It really is. It's not a complicated game.
Mhm.
The DM has that's the hard work, but they just tell you what to
Yes.
do, and you just make your decisions. You just decide what your course.
You
of
know what
action
you
is
should
and
do?
luck
You
of the
should have a
dice.
D&D game, but it has to have a modern. It has to have a modern day spin related to YouTube somehow.
Don't start a channel with Kyle
no.
Curtis. Yeah, like that.
they did YouTube.
Well, yeah, duh. Now we know that.
Yeah. I have an adventure
Oh,
about
yeah.
starting a YouTube
Live and
channel.
learn.
We'll do that. Helio says, "What is Zoom? Where have you been?" Don't know.
So
Brandon.
one thing that I've been experimenting with is Roll20, and you can pretty much set up a Zoom call and have like a shared window. So if I like shared my screen or something like that, all of you guys would be able to see yourselves. You guys all have your own little pawns. I can make maps. We could do the entire thing through
AT2
Zoom.
Jared wants to play.
Yeah,
he wants to play tonight.
Lane?
Roll20 is pretty good. I don't like Roll20 because
It's
I get
difficult to
the,
navigate.
Yeah, as long as the DM could do it, I don't care.
it's not terribly user friendly, and I have not
Yeah.
been patient enough to learn the interface well enough. I also have I don't like it's aesthetic. I don't like as much,
You know what we should
but
do?
it definitely
Josh?
serves a really good purpose.
We should spend like 10 minutes, 10 minutes, and just do a really impromptu as your DM, and then ask Sweet what she wants to do as a character. Just make her quick character, something she's playing.
Ask me what I want to do as a character.
Yeah, give her a character and just say, okay, this is where you're at. This is what you see. What do you do?
You're opening up a really bad can of worms with
Yeah,
that.
so you
man.
want you're
She
asking
usually,
me-
she usually causes cosplay or something, but
So how was Steve's channel demonetized? Well,
yeah.
Start
So you're
hanging
telling me-
around.
So you're telling me you want a game hook?
Yeah, and let's just get immersed in D&D and how she should play a particular character.
Okay. So Sweet, you're sitting at a table in a tavern. You're at a bar, essentially, and you're sitting there. You're drinking. You're by yourself. You're not with any of your friends or your party members right now. You're waiting for them to show up a little bit later. You order your drink. You get your drink. You got a little bit of food to kind of crunch on. It's basically nachos and cheese, and you've got like a
Super
solid.
relatable so far. This is my life.
Yeah, you've got a solid cup of booze that has been brought
like
over
real
by
life.
a relatively voluptuous, freckled, red-haired young barmaid who is servicing the rest of the
Could
tavern.
you
Call it
describe
the Happy
relatively?
Friday, yes.
Relatively, she's not
Yeah.
like super E cups, but she's got like a solid double D going on.
A 1 beer.
Okay.
Okay,
two.
so we would do a nice symmetrical bump if we had
Yeah,
to.
yeah. You'd
good.
get a solid
Yeah.
bump going. Yeah.
Yeah.
There's
still
a
losing
little
my
bit of
channel.
music playing in the corner. You've got a violinist. There's somebody like playing a little bit of bongo, and there's a somebody also playing a flute. The tavern is kind of full, so there's like a solid murmur going on, but it's not like packed. It's not super busy or super loud. And as you're sipping your drink, you kind of, as you're taking kind of a glance around about what's going on, you blink, and the whole room gets dead quiet, completely silent for a split second, and nobody has faces. Nobody even really has proper fingers. They're all mannequins. And then you blink, and it's back. And everything's back to normal.
Somebody spiked your drink.
I would call that a typical fun Friday.
All right, hey, with Kokilios, $2. My safe word is terrace. All right, so you have to immerse yourself in this, sweet. So you're this character. What do you do?
No, I am. No.
What do you do? And then I'll roll any
mannequins
dice
are
for
super
anything, and I'll
creepy.
tell you what it is.
One of the few things, me and Markiplier have in common. I hate mannequins.
I picked a good one.
Oh, creepy, super creepy. Especially the faceless ones.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it looks like
Yeah.
kind of like the. It looks like they look. Do you remember the Robaxaset commercials?
Let's get in her character. Come on,
That
so
Batman
what do you do? I
commercial
want to
where
know
the
what you do.
pins go in.
Yeah, what do you
Whatever.
do?
It's fine.
What do I do?
Well, first, I'll give you a hint. You might want to ask what kind of character you are. You don't even know who you are, Care Sweet. I don't know who you are.
Well, no, I think she's
She can
she's
pick
giving me a
who.
scenario to see just how I personally would respond, right? I assume this is what we're asking.
I
or
suspect
however
there's a
you
maid around me.
It
Like
doesn't
how I
have
would-
to be. It doesn't have to be you. It's
Right.
whatever character you want to be right now.
Yeah, you could be a
Everybody else-
virginal half
everybody
elf, that magic user cleric that has a fetish for I don't know, Mikey. What's a good fetish? You know a few of them.
I don't
What's
know what
good-
my
what's a good
options are. I think that's the problem then.
Don't
If I'm
worry
deciding-
about that too much. Just react how you think you would want to react.
And everybody else stop corrupting her and interrupting.
It doesn't have to be you exactly personally, but just like a
No,
rough.
but just
what would you wanna do?
all off the top of my head. So if that happened, I would probably, if I'm all right, am I aware that I'm in a realm where magic is a thing?
Yes.
Okay. So I wouldn't necessarily assume I was having a stroke. I wouldn't necessarily assume that I'm crazy.
All right.
If I had the power, I would want to try to figure out the situation. If I wasn't aware that I had any such power, then I would look for somebody to help me explain the situation.
She cast a spell illusion spell.
Yeah, so okay, so you have essentially a detect magic. You could do something like that, but if you want to go non-magical answer, you can kind of scan the room and do a perception check to see if you notice anybody that looks like they might be casting any
Perception check
11.
14.
I was gonna say 11.
Okay.
magic. Okay, so which one? Do you want to
Yeah.
do magic or do you want to not do magic?
I mean, can I do magic? That's the thing. I don't know
You
if
can
I'm
do
a being
it if
that
you
can
would
do
like. I'm
magic.
letting you choose. You can do magic if you'd like. If you don't want to do magic, you don't have to.
Oh, yeah, I'll do magic.
Okay, so you kind of mumble to yourself into your glass to draw too much attention to yourself, and you cast a dispel magic, and nothing seems to happen. It doesn't look like any magic has been dispelled in your immediate area. Now, it is limited in its amount of size, so what you can tell is essentially nobody's cast a spell on you. You have another option. You could do if you want to go down the magic route, you could essentially start casting a... sorry, were you wanting to cast Dispel or Detect?
No, so at this point, then I'd want to ask for somebody else for information. I'd want to, I guess, look out for... If magic isn't working, then somebody else knows what's going on. I'd want to know who might know what's going on.
All right, so you do kind of a scan around the room to see if there's anybody that looks like they might be more magically inclined or something that might be more familiar with the area and the town you're in, since you're relatively new here. And you see a pair of halflings sitting at the table. Their feet are swinging underneath the chairs, but one of them's got kind of like a tilted wizard-looking hat, and they look like they're laughing, having a good time. And they look like they're from around here. They've got the emblem of the kingdom that you're in. You can go up to speak with them if you'd like.
Okay. I guess so.
How would you like to approach?
My usual self, friendly, flirty.
Pull your tongue
Okay.
out.
Okay,
That's her greeting she has. Just whips one out and says, hi.
So you
If
kind of
if that's part of the culture, then that's what I would do, I guess.
It's a cultural
yeah,
thing.
no, it's totally fine. So you take your drink with you and you kind of saunter up to them. You kind of walk up a little quickly, and as you get closer, and you kind of start doing a little bit of a saunter, and you kind of lean over their table, and you're like, "Hey boys, how you doing? How's your night?" And they're kind of just stop for a second. They look at each other. They're both kind of blush a little bit, and they're like, "Hey, hey!" And they're like, "Hey, we're great. How are you? Do you want to come sit with us?" You're sitting in a tavern here all by yourself. People don't just come to the tavern all by yourself. You come here, have a drink with us. How about you sit right here? And they pull up a chair for you, and they're super friendly, and they're like, come on and sit with us. What we can do? Are you new here? Do you come to this bar? We've never seen you before.
Wait, a bar that she hasn't been
Then
in
we have a
before?
conversation until I can fish for information.
No, have the conversation.
Huh?
She's the
Yes.
halflings. Talk. Wizard.
That's what I'm saying. I would have the conversation.
Well, tell her.
until
What is
I
the
can
conversation?
get
You tell.
information.
What you
What
have to
words?
say. You know.
Wow.
You have to tell. You have to do the conversation. You don't just tell her, "Hey, I'm gonna have a conversation." What is the conversation? What do you say?
Oh no, I know we're actually role playing.
Yeah.
Asking.
Yeah.
Oh, role play for us. Sweet. Just role play for us.
That just checks somebody. That just checks somebody's box.
I mean, yeah, somebody wanted us to role play together.
Yeah.
I'll role play with Stretch and
That's gonna be on the
Pride.
other channel.
We'll have to figure out what Patreon level that is. Chef.
Yeah, that's Patreon level
Yeah.
stuff right there.
Oh yeah.
To be continued.
You know, hey, you know what? It's been rough with CV19. We might have to make certain
Oh, wow.
So what other? There's a D20. Is there another one that you can do online?
There's a couple of them. You can. It depends on how much you're interested in the map itself, because you can do it on Discord if you wanted to, if you had a particular room for it, and you could screen share. You could do it on table. There's a virtual tabletop that you can do it on, which is like a VR Steam one that's available. There's a couple.
Or Google, roll a d20.
Yeah.
Oh, you mean just like it
That's
just
what I have
like
up
generates
right
a
now.
number?
Yeah, you just put
Yeah.
roll D20 online, and it'll bring up a real dice thing. And
Yeah,
you do it.
because they do have people on. They do have people that on YouTube and on Twitch that run games,
Yep.
like on a regular basis.
And most of them aren't even that funny.
It's not easy
Some of them
to
are pretty
do.
funny.
It's not easy to do.
Yeah, I mean, I think it would be hard to make it always entertaining, but it's fun. It's fun to watch people do
well,
that.
it's when you have charts and stuff like that. Like let's say you say, look, I'm going to scale that particular wall and jump over the other side, and you roll a dice and you jump off the wall and you hit a 1 and you fumble, which means you basically slammed on the ground, probably broke your ankles. Right. So now you got to hobble over to where you're probably trying to get to, that kind of stuff.
Mm-hmm.
I'm a pretty freelancy DM. I bend the rules for the sake of shit being fun and hilarious.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I like
The
the
rule.
I like the sound of that.
The rule of fun should abide.
I like the greeting by
Exactly.
showing one boob, though. I think that actually should be a thing we should have in our culture.
By showing one boob.
Yeah.
So I'm gonna have
okay,
to get my.
Don't do don't tempt me.
So I'm gonna have to get my. I'm gonna have to
But
get
which
myself
one?
a book
Is
of
it left
erotic
or right?
fantasy.
You've seen one, you've seen both.
Oh,
That's not true.
No,
No.
not really. No,
You know
not
that's
really.
not true.
No. Not really.
Each one has its
brought
own
back
little
fond memories.
personality.
That's
I'm
a,
being
that's, a, that's,
silly
a, that's a
advertised.
middle school level assumption, Steve.
Hey,
Steve, how
Validation
many
Boy
movies
telling
have
me
you
these
seen?
things. You keep on telling me that he's wrong.
Oh, the only boobs he's ever seen are in porn.
Aw.
What, Steve?
Oh.
Really? Sweet. Come
Poor boy.
on.
You poor boy.
He had his chance to talk to you, and he pussied out. I was disappointed by that. I was hoping to have that or listen to that discussion. I was like, hey, this would be good. You know,
I'd love to have a chat with him, but I guess I was too mean.
You're just too much for him.
Who was this?
Validation boy.
Oh,
Oh.
okay. Who's validation
I
boy?
don't want to know.
Exactly.
Incel /
Exactly.
MGTOW. Well, he does. He says he's not MGTOW, but he sounds like one.
Oh,
Definitely. an
He's like a
incel.
big Tao apologist.
Women
but he's
don't like
not
me
one,
because
technically.
they're all bitches, and all they use their pussies for is to, have a man spend money on them, so they
Oh,
get
we're
knocked
talking about
up.
that on Tuesday.
Yeah.
Yeah, we are. And yeah, like listening to him, it's like, okay, so I'm a single like female and I work for myself. So like, where's my man? Seriously, bring him in front of me. Thank you very much. So I can like live off his salary and stuff.
Yeah. No, you just want to have Christmas babies. That's what this is all
Christmas
about.
babies.
Oh,
The
I want
audience-
to have.
Yeah.
Want to have
Yeah.
COVID-19 babies?
I should have had like 7 Christmas.
I didn't
gonna
want
be-
to say it.
Just
but
think,
you
just
said
think
it,
for now.
so-
Just think when 12 years from now they call
Oh my
quarantines.
god.
That's he thinks it's one big conspiracy so that the
quarantines.
women can have a bunch of Christmas babies.
Oh
That's
my
not bad.
god.
I was like, where are my 7 Christmas babies
He
at?
calls us a gynocracy. So now we're adopting that. We are the
Gynocracy.
gynocracy. And we're taking over.
Someone asked me
7
like,
is a lot.
Manya, can you get Shesh, Steve, and Sweet to do Bhangra dance? That will happen, my friend, one day. I promise you. That will happen.
We're going to try to get Manya to the States one of these days, and we Chester and I said
That'd be
we'll try
fun.
to do Bollywood type stuff. We'll try.
Yep, that will happen.
I used to do belly dancing, so it can't be that different.
Belly dancing is not Bollywood.
I know.
No. Belly dancing is belly dancing.
I can do the
I thought you were
Bollywood.
gonna get more angry. I wanted you to get angry.
She's trying to troll
Angry
you.
Manya is the best Manya.
Oh God.
I love Manya
no.
when she's
Manya's-
angry.
Manya's
Don't
buzzed
poke the
and
sleeping
happy to
dragon
get
in the eye,
trolled.
please.
We have got to try to piss her off more
Or she
often,
likes me to be like,
right? I tell you, when we get her out to the club one of these nights, sometimes oh my God, that poor bartenders,
Come here.
I would love to take Manya to a bar.
we all want to take
Get
Manya
her
to a
brawl.
bar.
So much fun.
Helios for $5 says, I have recommended the Unexpectable Run by Monty Glue on Takahate 101 on his YouTube or live on Twitch or any of his college humor's Dimensions 20 on Dropout.
Those are all
What was
D&D
that?
campaigns.
Okay.
Ah, okay.
Adventure paths.
Oh. That just went right over
If
my
you
head.
want to
sorry.
make Manya mad, I can bring something up. It'll piss her off.
Oh,
I don't want to make her
Good, yeah.
actually mad.
Please
She
piss her
knows
off.
me so much better now. God, no.
Okay, give me a minute. It'll take me a second to find it.
But
think that
Manya,
should-
remember, you don't have free will, so you're
She's
gonna
already
have
been
to
Golden Unicorn long
Yes.
enough. We got to change her name down to like Angry Manya.
get angry Manya.
Angry Manya.
Mad,
Angry unicorn.
Angry.
Mad
Oh,
Manya.
The
yeah,
Angry
that would be
Unicorn.
great.
There you go. The Angry Unicorn.
Angry.
Yeah, let me try if I can change that. Let me just see.
Mad Manya.
Yeah, Mad Money or something like that. That's
It's a
right.
good one.
Oh.
Sounds like a wrestler. And on the stage.
It's because
Mad Manya.
it sounds like Mad
Sunday,
Mardigan.
Sunday.
Sounds like Mad Mardigan.
It actually sounds like a cool drink.
Best
You go to a
movie
bar,
ever.
and, you go up there and say, "Hey, excuse me, can you make me a Mad Manya?" Oh, yes, I can.
Yeah.
That would be great.
Oh man.
Better than
He reaches
vodka
behind
and
the bar and pulls
blue
her out.
Gatorade.
I'd drink it. Also,
I would too.
That's what this is.
Yeah, I
What are you
wouldn't
drinking,
drink that are not
Mikey?
the words that Cheshire's ever said.
Mikey, what are you drinking?
A Mad
Yeah, I
Manya.
can change my name to Angry Unicorn.
Man.
Should I do that, or should I keep it as Golden
you should
Unicorn?
change it to Nightmare because that's how a nightmare is born.
By an angry unicorn.
Oh wait, that's from a Pegasus.
I think that
story.
isn't a raped unicorn or something.
No,
I don't know.
I'll tell you another time.
I don't know much of the lore of these things any longer.
I'm just trying to find the thing that's gonna piss Manya off. Hold on, I have it here. I'm just
What lore?
Don't piss
Lore
off
what?
Manya.
D&D.
Let's do this.
Oh, okay.
Only I'm allowed to be mean.
not gonna be me.
Yeah, I'm not used to pulling actual lore from D&D. I'm used to like having people just make it up.
You're supposed to say
much better that way.
You're supposed to say I'm used to just pulling from the Bible. What kind of atheist are you?
I'm here. I think so.
Actually, that would be really funny. Having a D&D campaign based entirely on the Bible.
I think they have
that would be awesome.
There are
Awesome.
I know there are
Assassin's
games though.
Creed something like that.
There are first-person shooters where you get to play Jesus. I'm not even lying. There are first-person shooters out there where you can pick Lincoln. I think you can pick Jesus, Gandhi. I think or something. I mean, yeah.
But think about it. It would get
Gandhi,
right around the
It's a
time
1.5 billion people. Yeah, cool.
Can you imagine Rambo Jesus?
There's a game out there. There's a game out there where you can play what's called Republican Jesus, and you're Jesus with a gun, and you shoot homosexuals. There's everything out there. If you can think of it, it exists. It's awful. Yeah, they have all sorts of stuff.
Was it
They just have
Rule
those
30?
Jesus Hulk toys, but
Everything
I
exists.
guess.
What's the thing that
Are you talking about
the porno of everything? Yeah, Rule 34.
Rule 34.
Rule 34.
Yeah, Rule 34.
And then there's a sub rule. It's Rule 34. If it exists, there's porn of it.
There's porn of it.
And then the sub rule is that if there is not porn of it, you are now responsible for creating that.
Somebody
porn.
will make it. Yeah,
Ah.
I like that version better. You're responsible. If you thought about it and it hasn't been yet, then you.
It's a
have to
moral
make it.
obligation. that you put it out
It's
there
a
for
moral
everybody.
obligation by duties and
Have to do it.
responsibilities.
No, it's
objective
all going to
morality.
die with me. I don't want to spend time in jail.
Just call it art. It's art.
Yeah, that's how you get away with it.
It's okay.
Call it
This little girl
Yeah.
is actually a 500-year-old dragon.
Gross.
Oh.
Too sick for my blood.
That actually happened. I spread about that on Twitter.
What do you mean actually happened? That shit's all
What
over
happened?
the place.
Yeah, I don't
Yeah,
follow anime, so I don't. But I mean, I saw it on Twitter and I'm like, is this really a legit thing? I mean, does it? I don't know.
Yes.
It's weird.
Yes.
They think
yes.
they call it like
called
lolly
lollies.
porn or lolly.
They're
something?
called lollies. Yeah.
Lollies,
So
yeah.
there's lollies and then there's lolly porn. And a lolly is essentially supposed to be a young-looking character. It's a character that looks like
Well,
they're
like younger than like
than they
Sailor Moon, because
actually
those are
are.
just adults,
from-
right? I mean, Sailor Moon-
No, Sailor
from
Moon
your
is
generation?
Sailor Moon is
No.
14.
Really?
Yes.
I only remember one character from that.
Canonically.
My daughter used to watch that show. Oof.
Mhm.
Well, my mom.
I ate a peanut butter sandwich and I'm drunk and it's all Steve's fault.
Okay.
It's
Yeah.
always Steve's fault. Always.
Yeah.
I have a tendency to get women
But if you
drunk.
remember
I
when
don't
we
know what that
were-
means, but
When I remember when I was
somebody's
younger,
somebody's
where it
somebody's
came
gonna
from.
keep with that on a soundboard, aren't they? I have a tendency to get women drunk.
No,
I think
women,
it is.
women. It's not that you get women drunk. Women just have a tendency to want to drink around you.
Excessively. Yeah,
Mhm.
I don't get it. I don't-
Because
Makes it
we
easier,
trust
I guess.
Steve.
You bring
Well, it's
bring
because
women
you're
to
subtly
drinking.
grooming them.
Hey Manya,
Yeah.
can you? I'm gonna read this
Uh-oh.
to you, and you can tell me what you think of it.
We go.
Consider teenagers aren't apathetic about everything. They're just used to you shitting all over whatever they show excitement about. Teen gets a job. I got the job. Parent. Well, when I was your age, I already had 5 jobs and was supporting my
Oh.
family.
Oh God.
Tress, how old are the Powderpuff Girls?
Children.
How about
Like they were in
Yeah.
elementary school. They were like in kindergarten.
how about
or grade one.
Teletubbies?
They don't have ages. They're
Oh.
babies.
Yeah.
Or they're
Well,
elder.
okay, so what about
depending on
South
what you're-
Park? South Park, they get pretty nasty for
They're
a
in
bunch
grade
of kids.
4.
Yeah, but
They're
they
in
act like
grade
they're.
two. They start off in
Why?
grade 3.
They've
and
been
then they're
in wait,
grade
they've been in grade
Why
4 for
was the
20 fucking
professor
years.
trying to create
No,
3 perfect
they-
little girls?
4. Okay. Powerpuff Girls is sugar, spice, and everything nice. These are the ingredients made or put in to create the perfect little
Chemical
girls.
X.
However, there was an error when Professor Utonium accidentally added Chemical X. Now, using their ultra super powers, Blossom, Bubbles, and Buttercup use their powers
Yeah.
to save the world.
Oh wait, they were actually created.
Yeah, they're
But
not
why? But
Oh.
why was the professor making the little girls perfect in the first place? To their-
That really
science.
changes the whole
Purpose.
dynamic of that show, I think now.
That was-
For
I
science.
think so. I know what the
Science,
chemical
yeah.
X was. Hormones.
I'm sorry, are you asking why this this middle-aged single man was making children in his basement
Yes, I am.
and
That's-
neglecting
well,
You
his
see
super
what the
smart
answer to
pet monkey?
that?
So my head went.
And he accidentally makes them so crazy and powerful.
Well, he doesn't do that on purpose.
Like,
That was an
I
accident.
know, but that's the funny thing. He was trying to make them the perfect little girls.
Yeah. And then
But
he
why?
gave them superpowers. I don't know. Why do we only ever see Mrs. Secretary from here down?
Kawasa 5001. He says, "How about Larry, Curly, Moe, and Shemp?" Pretty sure they were adults.
Shemp never should have existed. I'm sorry, but yeah.
Feels bad, man.
Shemp existed.
But he shouldn't have. He shouldn't have.
He shouldn't have.
There's also, wasn't there Joe? Or somebody there's
Yeah, Joe.
yeah.
Yeah.
About that parent like shitting over the achievements of their kids. Yeah. Yeah, that's such an Indian parent thing to
She's
do.
spitting. She's been drinking.
Shut up.
Well,
She's so mad she's spitting.
Well,
You'd be so lucky if
Hey,
Manya spit
Manya,
on
you're
you.
supposed to swallow.
Sorry, master.
Okay. Here you go. I got this one. What this person asked, what has been your worst nice guy experience? So
Ooh.
possibly one of the coolest things I have ever seen. I mean, you know how you hear women want him, men want to be him, stuff in movies? Well, I'm a man, and by God, I want to be this guy. Anyway, I was having dinner with my girlfriend at the time, and behind us are a couple on a date. It is not going well. Guy was being rather creepy and making some pretty inappropriate comments. The girl doesn't look comfortable at all. The girl finishes her appetizer really quickly. My guess is she wanted to get it over with. Guy proceeds to comment on it and says, "Well, at least I know you can swallow, right?" Loudly. Girl goes red and tells him that isn't appropriate. He literally waves his hand in a shoe type motion and says, "Oh, calm down. I'm going to find out in a few hours anyway." I missed her exact reply as she moved to a hushed tone, but it was fairly obvious what was being said was, "Fuck no, fuck off, fuck this." He responded with, "Sweetheart, I picked you up. I know where you live." She lost the color in her face and said nothing. No, fuck no. I'm one of those get involved type of people, and there is no way I'm sitting here and watching this go down. I get up. I don't know what I'm gonna do, but I'm 23, fighting fit, and happy to put that motherfucker through a wall. I may have had a slight temper in my youth. But anyway, I was halfway out of my chair when a hand came down on my shoulder, and I look up, and this mid-50s super fit guy who says, "Easy, I've got this one, son." Absolute total confidence in his voice. So seeing as my current plan amounted to stab him in the neck, and I'm already thinking maybe that's not the best idea, I sit down. He walks over.
I want this one.
He walks over, grabs a nearby chair, flips it around, and sits down with the couple. Then he pulls out his police ID and puts it on the table. Now the guy doesn't have now the guy doesn't have any color in his face. Cop. So I'm quietly celebrating my daughter's birthday with my family when I distinctly hear you threaten this young lady. Would you care to explain yourself? You see, that's what I thought. We have a very dim view of that kind of thing. So right now I'm deciding if I want to have some of my buddies come and pick you up. Oh, no, well that would disrupt everyone's dinner. So how about you hand me your ID, because I wouldn't want you running off on me. Then you go see one of the staff here and settle your bill. The full bill now. This young lady shouldn't go hurry on account of your poor behavior. Or we can go with the first option. I'll leave that up to you. Guy, no, that's perfectly fine. Hands over ID, gets up, walks very quickly in the direction of the counter. Cop, while writing down the guy's details. Sorry about this, miss. I hope I'm not intruding. It just seemed like you could use some help. Oh, don't worry. If you want to pursue this further, I'll have some boys come and pick him up on his way home. We can definitely take this further. Girl, no, thank you so much. I wanted to run out 30 minutes ago, but he drove me here. Cop shifts from his hard-ass cop to comforting father figure in about half of a second. Well, I'm here with my daughter. She's about your age. Perhaps you'd like to finish your meal with us. We can run you home afterwards, if you'd like, unless you prefer to call someone else. Oh no, that would be really nice. Thank you so much. Guy returns, and so does hard-ass cop. So I paid my bill, and I could I have my ID back? There you go. Now, I have your details right here, so I highly recommend you don't go near or contact this young lady ever again. Yes, of course, I'm sorry. The guy pretty much fled the restaurant. The girl went and sat with the cop and his family, and by the time we left, they were sitting around still talking, laughing, and laughing about random crap. It was hands down the best way I've ever seen anybody handle a situation ever. That cop is my hero.
Shit that never happened for 100, Alex.
There's a reason why I always take my own car if I have to meet someone. There's a reason. Ladies, take your own transport.
Shit that never happened.
Oh yeah, whether it happened or not.
I love that. I picked you up. I know where you live. That's not creepy at all, is it?
Yeah, no.
Yeah, but it just perpetuates a certain stereotype. It's
of what?
Well,
That's not a
happened to me,
stereotype.
so,
That's not a stereotype. That's legitimately shit.
I've been on so
it's
many
happened
dates like
with
that. Are
me.
you kidding?
I'm sure
No,
it
It's
does.
happened.
I'm sure it does. But most
Oh
guys
my
are not
God.
like that.
No, but
No,
I don't think most guys are.
No, I don't think so
They're
either.
assholes.
I've been around a lot of
Yeah.
guys,
You
but
and help you.
But
there's
a little
always
while
that.
ago, you were talking about MGTOWs, and you don't understand MGTOWs. I mean,
There's always
maybe
that
this is
1%.
why.
There's always that 1%.
There are. We're not saying there are, but to like categorize all women into that, that's what that boy was doing.
Oh, absolutely,
of
that would be unfair.
Step on his shaft.
Well,
hold on.
Yeah.
Who
wait. What
categorized-
does
hold
that
on.
story
Yeah,
have to do with MGTOW, though?
And
That's
I
what
would also like to
I'm
point out
lost.
what in
Because-
this story categorized all
Well,
men. Hold on. What in this story categorized all men in a specific way? Because there
Two
was
out of
Nothing.
3 men were out of
Exactly.
3 of those
Nothing.
men were amazing.
yeah.
Nothing. But it's
Yeah.
but it's the whole premise. It's the enjoyment of it. It's like, okay, you listen to this story about this guy being an absolute dick. I mean, I've never ever heard of a story in my entire life, and I've known some real scummy guys. I've never heard something that bad.
That's pretty mild.
You know what I
man.
mean?
I've heard.
Well,
I mean, it's rare, but that's pretty mild, man. That's the
That's
worst you've
awesome.
heard.
I
sweet
can
summer
give you
child.
my
That's
account right
awesome.
now if you want to. You know,
Because I've lived
I'm just
it many
saying,
times.
It happened.
Okay, all right.
Yeah.
man.
I
Tell,
think
tell
so
me,
what
tell me
you're-
your tell me your
Is it-
horror stories, and I'll listen.
Well, it happened
well-
with me. The guy kept calling me.
Oh God, how much
And he
time
told
do we
me he
have
knew where
for
I
horror
lived.
stories?
And
All you
I
have
was
to do is
like,
pick one.
All right, do you want to talk about the time that I was raped, or the other time that I was raped,
Yikes.
or the
I mean, it's
time that
perfect.
somebody
It's
left
up
me in a
to you.
restaurant because
It's up to you.
I ordered something that he didn't approve of me eating, so he left me there. And then there was a time where, gosh, there was a cop that I dated, and he said that if I didn't go with him after dinner, that he was going to make my life hell. Gosh. I'm kind of like a little buzzed right now, so maybe I can't remember everything at once, but
That's horrible. Yeah.
life is tough. I mean, but I would say that that's the minority. I would never sit and say that the most guys I've known have been that way. Acknowledging these
You
things
know how you
happen.
feel when your when your fiance that you're trying to break off the engagement is trying to drive you home and almost crashes the car into a road divider. Yeah.
And then
That's not
because he's
I'm
angry at my
curious.
attitude. Yeah.
And then
I'm curious about something because why does it spark a defensive attitude to call out negative behavior if that's not the typical normal behavior? Of course you want to call out bad behavior when it's not normal or healthy.
And you want to highlight good men too.
Absolutely.
There were two good men
Well,
too in there.
So what does it have to do with being it's nothing anti-male.
It is
That's not a normal
absolutely
male
it's not.
thing to do.
Absolutely, it's not. Absolutely, it's not. I think that. Okay, I think maybe I misspoke. What I'm talking about is the fact, like I saw a post the other day on Facebook. This person talking about, what was it about? There was something about equality and how there should be this. Nobody should have to go through this. Absolutely, no one should. Nobody says that. But a lot of people, what they want to do is they want to virtue signal. They want to say, oh, look at me, I'm such a great person because I don't agree with this. And they'll point it out and shine a light on it. And that's what they do. That's the whole
there's a lot
purpose
of
of it.
bullshit
It's
out
no
there.
purpose of trying to eliminate this type of behavior or anything else. It's just kind of like focusing on, oh, look at this person doing this thing. Aren't they
I'm
fucking
sorry, hold
disgusting?
on. Hold
not-
up. Did you just say that there's no purpose in trying to eliminate this kind of behavior?
No. I said that they're
That he's saying that's not their purpose.
Oh,
yeah,
okay.
they're,
okay.
The best
that's
way to-
not like
They're
they're
just trying to
trying
work
to
on
actually
The
eliminate
best way to
this.
virtue signal is
Yeah.
basically
Well-
to be a good person, which is not
Virtue signaling.
Right?
Virtue
But
signaling
it
is an
doesn't do
issue.
anything.
Yeah.
It's
It
like
is an
I
issue.
don't beat puppies. Do I have to tell you all that? You just probably assume I don't.
I
know.
kind of do every so
Exactly.
often
No,
because people
sure.
think that I do.
No.
Sure.
But
well,
why are you
well,
taking
Steve,
it
we
as-
all know you beat puppies.
Yeah.
So
But the thing is that when these things actually
Steve,
do
stop lying.
happen,
Yeah.
regardless of whether or not this actual scenario happened, I mean, who knows, right? But I've been in situations where I've seen similar things happen. It's possible. Maybe let's just assume that somebody made it up. Give that. Like, let's assume somebody made it up. It's to even, and again, most charity, yeah, it may have been for them to feel like, hey, I had this perfect moral stance in this moment. Look at me, I'm awesome. Give me the credit. People do that. People absolutely do that all the time. And it is sick. It's really sick. You should not have to make up stories about yourself to explain how you feel about
When that one time I saved those 6 drowning
But
kids.
shut up,
and,
Steve. Talking. Woman's talking. Shut your face.
yeah, because like when you share a story with me, Sweet, I believe you because I know that you're not going to sit here and just make something up. But
I have no
random
motivation
post,
to do that.
right? But from some random post that somebody's reading off their phone. I mean,
Okay,
I
well,
don't
hold on.
know how true it is.
My point
Uh,
though is that you. Let's go
That was
back.
for me. She was reading the post
Let's
for
go
me, so
back.
I could get angry, and I got
Yeah,
angry.
yeah. I was gonna
So-
say
Yeah.
let's bring the context back to what this was.
Yeah,
for a
that was the
second.
context.
Yeah.
Super chat real quick.
Uh,
And by the way, my biggest concern was Sweet doing something like, "Oh my God, Steve pulled out the chair for me when we were out. Oh my God, he's such an asshole."
Why would I say you were an asshole for doing that when
I
you
don't
literally
know.
never
You
did
know,
that?
you never know what you never know, right? That was my biggest concern.
She'd
Like,
never-
God damn,
she'd never
what the hell did I do
falsely
wrong?
accuse
I
you.
mean,
I never had the opportunity to call you a chauvinistic asshole.
I'm working
because
on it though.
You weren't a gentleman. You were a
You're
complete.
not
Stop
working
that.
on it, Steve.
No,
You're
no,
not working
no,
at
I was
all.
not,
You're just
no.
focused on beating
I am a
puppies.
I am a horrible
Exactly.
fucking human being.
I let
Stop
you.
it.
I let you.
I mean,
I let you take my.
that's why I left you in Texas in the middle of our vacation.
Oh.
I let you.
Now
I let
that's
you spend
cruel.
some time. I let you spend some time with my big sis, and this is what you do, Steve.
Right.
All right, man. I'll be.
Yeah, see?
I'll be seeing about you real
Yeah,
soon, there, homie. Don't
That
even
actually
worry
was a
about it.
true story, though. People actually were saying that somehow she left me in Texas. And I'm like, really? Okay, I wasn't aware of this, but cool
He's
beans,
still
man.
in
I was
Texas to this
reading the
day.
story while I was sitting next to him. It was really funny. It's like,
Yeah, I'm
like,
still in
oh,
Texas, I
apparently
guess,
I'm
right
not
now.
here anymore.
You know, it's
What
weird.
was the super chat?
It is weird when people tell you something you know is just completely so wrong, and you're stunned by it. It's like, what? I don't. Okay, so Padme 666. Padme says, some bars gaining traction know how to look for someone. Orders an quote angel shot. Angel code shot is a code word for I feel endangered and need
Yep.
help. That actually makes
Everybody
sense,
should
actually,
know
dude.
That's cool,
Absolutely.
actually. I like
I
it.
never knew that.
I didn't either. That's actually you learned something on this channel.
But again, these things exist because these scenarios, unfortunately, are common.
Yeah.
They're not the norm, but they're common.
I would
So
also like to
it's
point out that
important
the
to talk
story
about it.
isn't actually like encouraging the shunning of this guy. Nothing bad happened to this guy. He had to leave a bar because he was being incredibly inappropriate and threatened somebody. There's nobody. Like, he didn't get lynched. He didn't get robbed. He didn't get any of his freedoms taken away from him. He didn't
Yeah,
even
he
didn't
get
go to
charged as far as
jail.
stores. So which is to be fair, he could have easily happened because he was threatening somebody. What's being applauded here is the cop who stepped in and handled the situation in a way that was not violent and didn't embarrass anybody and was able to de-escalate the situation
have
and
escalated
keep
really fast,
everybody
right?
safe. That's
That's
the
how
part
I know
that's
this
being
story.
applauded in the
That's
story.
how I know that. That's how I know this story's fake. A cop de-escalated the situation.
He was white.
That's what I'm
Well,
saying.
Mikey, he was white. Of
Hold
course.
on,
Okay, come on.
My story that I was
Yeah.
talking about. Hold on. My story that I was talking about. This guy kept on like harassing me on phone for months. And he would do it like it was seasonal kind of thing. He would drop it like whenever he would like maybe he felt like I'm about to go to the authorities because I would threaten him to do that, and then he would drop it and then he would pick it up again. I finally decided to call the cops, and they came to my house, and this cop like sat in my living room casually. He took the number, called this guy from his office, from his work phone, and he's like, listen dude, this is my name, this is my badge number, this is the office I work at, the police station. This is the area I work at. So if you want to keep on continuing this, we can come to your house actually, because I know where you live by the number. So I can come and pick you up if you want to. And he said, or you can stop these calls and we can be done here. And that's what exactly happened. He stopped, and I never heard from that guy again. Never ever. So it's happened. Like, yeah.
Oh, of course it happened. Hey, Mikey, do you know that by deductive reasoning, we can actually, the story that Cheshire told, do you know how we know that they were all white people? Do you know how we know that?
How's that?
Because nobody was shot.
I was about to say the cop didn't kill him.
Yeah. I mean,
Yeah.
Everybody lived.
That was the movie.
everybody lived.
Everybody live.
Oh dear Lord.
Can I just circle back to something real quick? I'm sorry. It's not going to sit with me well if I don't. Because what Hellbound said, it's important. Saying that, not understanding MGTOW and certain things. I don't want it to ever. No, please.
Okay, sorry. Go ahead.
From me, I don't want to ever come across as not being empathetic to what some people go through. So if I rip on a specific incel, it's because they're putting forth hateful rhetoric towards women. It's not because they are an incel. Like that being what it is. And I hope that, for the love of God, for what most of us are going through with this isolation, if we haven't already been dealing with it, we can empathize a little bit with what people go through when they don't get that physical social contact that some of us are just used to always getting. I really hope that people
might take for granted, I think, is what
I think that there's a lot of legitimate hurt and reasons why these people lash out the way they do. I think that they need understanding and empathy and talking to. People like Validation Boy that we talk about, he has been reached out to with the most empathetic and warm opening of arms that people could do. And he shut people down. He is a woman hater. There's a big difference. So when we go off and we respond in kind with the kind of, tit for tat kind of stuff, it's cathartic. We're doing it to call attention to how ridiculous things are being. And it's not that we're saying that every single incel is a waste of space. That's not even close to.
You can actually empathize with some, and you can actually talk to them, and some of them do listen.
And I do want to have those conversations, and I do have those conversations with people who are willing to have those conversations. People who aren't willing to have those conversations, and it's But in MGTOW especially, I'm not going to call people out publicly, but I have people in my personal life that I've known my whole life that would qualify as MGTOW, even if they do or don't identify that way. And I understand why. They've been hurt a lot. There's a lot of bad stuff that goes on between people. It's not a gender thing. It's a human thing. Humans can treat each other like trash. And unfortunately, some people assume that because they are attracted to a certain type and that type has treated them wrong, that type is all bad. And nobody, male, female, whatever gender you are, that should not be something people do. So regardless of how legitimate their pain is, I still think that their expression of it is misplaced and it's not healthy and that needs to be rectified. But that's not a hatred towards these people. This is something that I want them to get better. I want them to be happier, because I think that going down that path of hatred and blaming other people for your own issues, or just for issues that aren't even anybody's fault, it's just a bad circumstance of the universe you were born in, that's not healthy. It's not helpful for anybody. And it's just going to lead you into further isolation. So I hope that
part of calling
explains,
it out. And part of calling it out and pointing this out.
I hear you.
There's a problem, a really big problem within the incel community. And it's because the incel community is incredibly toxic to themselves. Not even just to women, to themselves. That's why they're using things like, get a rope and like kill yourself, essentially. Because they're in a situation where it's if one of them starts to get out, they want to pull them back down. It's a misery loves company kind of situation. And that's not every incel. That's just the forums that were those are the places and those are the things that we're touching on and discussing. Is like and it's not like it's we're just picking out the worst ones. No. This is common discussion within these forums, and these forums are large. They've been kicked out of multiple communities because they're straight up encouraging hate and killing each other and bullying each other into suicide and stuff like that. Like, this isn't like a light thing, but if you don't or make fun of some of the ideals and some of the things that they're pushing, like some of the science that they're pushing, which is not science, then you run into, then they're never going to learn or notice, or people will more easily fall into that category when they otherwise wouldn't have fallen in there, because it's a trap. It's a Sarlacc pit. It's like, oh, you're fine. Oh, I kind of want to see what's over here, and now you're just get sucked into this cesspool of complete garbage because you were feeling lonely and were looking for a support group.
Well, there's somebody mentioned something like that real quick. So real quick, Sarah has mentioned for $2. I love your cleavage, sweet heathen. I told Sarah to come in here and she can look up close and personal here.
Yes, Sarah, my cleavage loves you back. I wish you'd come in and chat.
Do you know Sarah? I love Sarah. I don't know, sweet.
I've known her for a long time.
Good,
yeah,
good.
of course.
Yeah, she's amazing, isn't she? She's like, I have
Come on in.
I love Sarah. Okay, so but another person had asked, Matt has said, as an introvert, I got to ask, are you guys extroverts doing okay? I know you ain't used to this. That's a good question, actually. I am only extroverted online and when I'm out with certain people, but other than that, I'm pretty way introverted, to say the least. So I don't really have that much difference, except for the fact, like I said the other day, I really wanted to go out. I felt like having a drink, having a nice meal, and I was just like going to chill, right? And play on my laptop and just talk to this bartender friend I have. And nope, couldn't do it. Sucked. So how do you
bartender friend? That's like saying my stripper friend.
Yeah. Don't worry, he's married with kids. Okay, so don't worry, don't get jealous.
They're everybody's friend.
Exactly.
Can I just
paid to be your friend? Okay, so what you Sweet's saying? Well, he's paid to talk to you. Okay, thanks.
Exactly.
Wow.
Yeah, you tip him.
She knows how to hurt me, and they're all the right places, doesn't she?
Well, that's why you pay extra.
You've been negging me long enough. Now we can pay back.
I've just started. I've just fucking started. Let me tell you. You haven't seen nothing.
I'm
going to neg you like you've never been negged before. I will be the best negging person you've ever seen in your life.
Oh,
Can I add just one?
Almost attractive.
I just want to add one thing. I've been a supermodel my entire life. I cannot relate to you common folk and your common folk plights. All I can say to everyone is to just be me. You know what I mean? Just be absolutely jaw-droppingly handsome and funny and very smart and just
and modest.
Exactly
don't forget
that.
Your humility is one of your many virtues that I admire. So.
I just won my 3rd humility award this year.
And you should have won 4. I don't know how you. I think I think you were robbed out of the last one.
I was on the channel, yes.
It's just no, but
he's so humble. He can't stop bragging about it.
It's hard being him. You guys don't know, man.
It's really hard. It's hard to turn it off.
Real.
You know what I mean? It's hard to turn it off. You know, I can't turn this visage off. It's just, you know.
Braggadocio. Sorry, yeah, that's the word, isn't it?
Braggadocio.
Yeah, it's my coping mechanism because I mean I've had my issues and I went a long time without a girlfriend, and if it weren't for the Backstreet Boys, I wouldn't have tricked the girl that I'm with now into being with.
Yeah, and look at the one you got makes up for all the years you were lonely and depressed and isolated. Because she's pretty.
And
cool.
hanging out with Steve, and it makes up for all of it.
I'm assuming she's going to come to her senses relatively soon, but in the interim, hey,
one can
enjoy while it lasts.
Right?
Also point out that can we also point out that there are incel women also, and some of the incel women, nice girls, are just as bad as the men, and we will get there.
Yeah, we're going to find some of those. We're going to talk.
I didn't want to seem dismissive, but I kind of thought the women should also talk about how some of the women are not empathetic, like or empathic or empathetic? I'm confused.
Empathetic.
Empathetic.
You're not empathetic like Sweet.
Empathic is the superpower.
No, and that's the thing.
Sweet,
It's like
Sweet,
anytime-
hold on. I may not be wrong here. Sweet, do you have a superpower?
Oh yes.
I have many.
I'm sure she
Many,
does.
yes.
Quite a few.
Telepathy is also one of them.
Which one would you like to discuss first?
I was mostly talking about the word that I couldn't pronounce correctly, but there's more.
Being empathetic is not a superpower. It is a detriment. I swear. But yeah,
there's a lot of women who are not great in their responses to guys.
I feel attacked.
And with
Trish has
the
the worst tone.
And with the rise of social media, they not only shit on guys, break their little spirits, stomp their little PPs right into the dirt.
Yeah.
And then they screenshot it and put it out for the world to see. Now,
So
That's
I
character
don't know-
building, though. That's character building.
That's the other- exactly.
Hold on.
Everybody
It's
can be an
really
asshole. That's
it's really
exactly what
interesting
I'm
that when
saying.
it's really interesting when he gives a point for the guys, it's easily shot down. Make fun of
Nobody's
it
shooting that
quickly.
down. Who shot it down?
It's okay. It's okay. Hold on.
Wait, who
Hold on.
shot it down?
Hold on.
I don't know.
One shot,
Maybe
one
I'm
kill.
wrong.
We're agreeing with you. It's really fucked up and wrong. We're shooting
It is.
So I think there should be consideration of others' feelings in both respects, because I know there's been some really nasty women who've said some really mean and nasty shit to me. They haven't so much threatened my physical person because I'm a bit bigger than them.
A few of them, maybe.
Did you have your PP step on?
Yeah.
It's a matter.
Some of-
The answer is both, right? The answer
Right.
answer is both. There are women who are horrible, nasty, nasty people who do nasty, nasty things to other women and do nasty, nasty things to men. There are men that do nasty, nasty things to women who do nasty, nasty things to other men and who do nasty, nasty things to anybody. The answer is there are just some people who are nasty,
Assholes in
nasty,
every
nasty
gender.
fucking
Some
people.
people are assholes. I have an issue with people who project all of that onto one group.
Yeah,
That
sometimes it
is the
takes
issue
years
that
to
we
figure that
have.
out. I mean, like,
It doesn't matter what your sex or
I
gender
used to
is.
be a
It's-
self-righteous, judgmental asshole. Let me tell you,
Mikey-
I used to be a self-righteous, judgmental asshole who used to judge girls by what they used
This
to
was
wear.
only like 2
I
years
was
ago,
one of
too, by the
them.
way. This was not that long ago for Manya. This was only a few years back. But this
we
is
wouldn't
back when
have
she was
been
ultra religious,
back
too,
then.
though. Yeah.
You'd have said like, "Get out!"
Oh,
of
she
here.
was a
I don't
bitch in Facebook groups. Yeah, she was a real, I mean,
Yeah, I used to be that, but you know, I've like Sweet said, like I've gotten more empathetic now over the years because
or empathic.
whatever.
And you
like,
also became
I
less
used to be
religious,
like well
too.
dressed and everything, and still I used to get the heat for it.
Don't
like,
learn English from Mikey.
My English are good.
Okay.
Mikey, you're not helping your
Mikey sounds
stereotype,
like he's
man.
been
You're
hurt.
doing the family.
I just want to
thing
like,
here.
I just
Don't
want to
do
hold
that.
Yeah,
him.
I feel Mikey, man.
I
I
know.
feel Mikey.
Mikey, I'm going to give you a big
Very-
man hug when I see you, and we're going to
Very-
get drunk.
My English are most good.
How's Chicago for COVID?
I mean, if it
Is
makes you feel any better,
is it
I'll
okay?
bite the bullet here. I'm the one who's not empathetic. I don't give a shit. I do not fucking care. If some guy shows up to me in my DMs and is being a fucking complete prick asshole to me, there's a decent chance I am going to show those. Now, I have, first off, stated publicly that my DMs are public. And secondly, I would also block out their name. I would not tell everybody who it was unless I had a very good reason to do so. So if it was straight up something like, if it was Steve, I would have to demonstrate that it was actually Steve doing this.
Mm-hmm.
That would be part of my responsibility if I was going to make that information
Just show him what we
public.
talked about last
But that
night.
is-
No, I'm kidding.
So,
Look what Steve
but
said
I
to
am
me.
that person. But I'm still doing this with a reason. Because there's a difference between somebody who isn't necessarily empathetic and somebody who is an awful, complete piece of shit.
I agree with that, but you know, I think that you probably wouldn't have to show shit. I mean, if you or Manya or Sweet, if any of them, you know, if they said, "Hey, you know what, Steve did this really inappropriate, fucked up shit, blah blah blah," you know, and they say, "Really?" they're like, you know, what they do is you just say, you know what, you just have to believe me. They wouldn't ask for
Who
evidence.
is yelling in the background? I have to ask.
Brandon?
It's a little distracting.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Wants to be
That's my
that guy.
nephew.
But
That's
it's true. I
I'm
mean,
sorry. I'll close my door.
look at like, you know, like
Oh,
look
it's
at
fine.
look at Mikey's old co-host, that guy pro lib dipshit. He says a bunch of shit. He didn't have any evidence. People believed him. Don't you think if Sweet is going to say, if she says, you know, well, you know, we were out this night and Steve did this, this, and this. Yeah, people are going to believe her
Oh, I
by
have
fiat.
so much dirt.
Yeah, I mean, this is why I have to pay her to keep her
I
fucking
think
mouth
it
shut.
depends, right? It,
It's like
So,
it's,
so
going back
that,
to
what
the
I would say
topic,
is
half my
people
salary,
have-
you know, half of what I make goes to
use-
Sweet. Just keep her quiet. It's hush money.
But the problem is
Secrets are
the number of
expensive.
people, the number of people who have exaggerated or just fucking misrepresented entirely the things about Steve have made it difficult if Sweet or I did want to say something. We would have to back that up in some way,
Yeah.
particularly if Steve was going to lie and say, no, this never happened. I don't know what they're talking about. They're just acting like one of them are crazies.
Yep.
They must have just swapped sides. It'd be very easy to dismiss us.
Goddamn chick. Yeah, see, you know, goddamn, she did this, and this. And no, I never stabbed her in the heart. What the hell is she talking about? So Scar. Yeah, she fell on it repeatedly. I don't know.
You can't stab me in the heart because I don't have one.
Yeah, she's a goblin.
I always
What are you
say the
talking about?
benefit-
Goblins don't have hearts, especially goblin queens.
Benefit of
She
so much
accidentally,
has happened is my
accidentally
back.
shot herself with a crossbow.
Yeah, so yeah,
Seven
like
times.
they're like we said, they're assholes in every gender, I might say.
There are.
Yeah.
Definitely.
So, yeah.
Don't
the
worry, we'll get to the
intention
women.
Matters. Huh?
I'm tuned in for that part.
What?
I'm waiting on that part.
Oh yeah, no,
I'll
it's coming.
pop up soon, don't
I-
worry.
I have
Don't
a
worry,
lot
we'll
of
get to
beef.
the women.
Yeah. So
Oh yeah,
that's
no,
that.
and like some of them are so bad. Some of them are way like they're the thing is the answer is both. We're going to cover men first because, well, it might not all be men.
Oh, yeah.
It depends.
I find crazy
Essentially,
chicks
what I
sexy.
did was I went through and I
No,
did
well,
incel.
Hellbound, you're gonna find out why
It's a-
more women hate me than men do.
Okay.
Yeah, like
I
I
did
thought it was
women-
for a different
women-
reason.
Actually,
Jealousy.
women are part of
That's part of it.
Jealousy.
Some women say we are not
I did a 2-hour stream. Well, I did a 2-hour stream that was covering incel terminology. That terminology wasn't just used by men, that was by incels. So that is men and women. And there were some terms that women used and some terms that only men used. There's women versions of these terms, there's men versions of these terms, and those things were all specified. What we're doing tomorrow is going through, not tomorrow, on Tuesday. What we're going through on Tuesday is we're going through somebody's comment section. And the comment section is on a video about in its iDubbbz, his girlfriend opened a fans only page, which essentially implies that she's going to be selling nudes. However, as far as I know, she has not yet done. It's just like skimpy cosplay, which is what she already did on her Instagram. It's just now a paid membership type thing. And so he did a video responding to that because of some weird backlash that he's gotten for her decision. And the comment section is a cesspool. But those are going to be accounts that you may or may not know whether they are male or female.
All right, so let me ask you this, because I have a friend on Twitter. Her name is Modern Medusa. She's on Pitmonk's channel a lot. Very, very attractive, very cool chick. And she said she had a poll.
Attractive, yeah.
Yeah, she's really nice and she's really pretty. And she said on a poll, she's like, should I start whatever the site is, paid, what is it called, fans only or something, and have, and she said, and have lewd safe for work photos. And I'm like, what is lewd safe for work? I'm like, as opposed to what I, like. I mean, if it's lewd, is that?
Well, it's suggestive, but it's not pornographic. Like you're not going to
She already
get
had that
struck
on
by
Twitter
the
now.
FBI.
Though. I mean, she's already had photos like that on Twitter. I don't
No thanks, not paying for that.
Yeah, I'm not.
Well, no, yeah, pay or not pay. I think that it's something
No areola,
more and
no
more
money.
women are into doing. I've thought about it, especially since getting divorced, because I'm like, hey, I'm free again. I can do what I want.
Believe me,
I was going to do it too, but I
for
didn't think
people.
I'd make much money at it.
Women can make so much money doing that. If I was a woman, I would be doing that.
Men
You know how
can
much
too.
money
I would
make?
pay for
Men
a lot
can
of
do, I think
pictures.
some
of
men
men.
also do that.
Yeah.
Bullshit. Men cannot do
No,
that.
no.
I
Hold
cannot
on,
sit here
hold
and play games like this.
Oh.
It
All
does
right.
not work.
I gotta say something. Calling out.
How
Calling
come?
out.
Like,
You
what?
just said.
Sorry, you want me
just
to
said-
go turn on my my computer
You said-
upstairs and I'll go play League.
No. He
No.
said he can't do it.
I can't do it.
You can't do it. So you think men can't do it?
You can't do what?
Men can't do it.
Can't do
Men
what?
can't.
Wait. Can't do what?
It's a good
Hey,
point.
Steve.
We
Steve,
cannot-
Hang on. Everybody
No,
hold
no,
on.
no,
Hang
no.
on, hang on. Sweet, can't do what?
We
were
cannot
playing-
create a fans only account or a Twitch account and just show off our bodies and
Yes,
make
you
money.
can.
Oh, I
Yes,
could.
yeah, you
I don't know how
can.
many subs
Fuck yeah,
I
you
would
can.
have.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Oh, yeah, you
find
can.
some account for him,
You're-
man.
It's all
The
what
thing
you
is,
do with your
feel
body.
Like you can't do it.
Yeah,
Maybe you could. I haven't
definitely
seen
can.
your body,
never-
but that's
have you
I don't know.
never-
It's all about taste. But
I'm,
Have you
I'm
never
54
seen my
years
channel?
old. Believe me, there's not much.
Have you not seen my channel where I'm sexily in front of a webcam playing video games? The,
if I-
pe-
if
the
I-
money.
if I-
Mikey,
I'll
I've
just-
seen your channel, but I haven't seen that.
I honestly,
what? You know
I
what I'll
wouldn't
do?
care. Yeah.
I'll
Hold on,
go
hold on,
through,
what-
I'll go
Al,
through
what-
Twitch.
Can you wait?
I'll go through Twitch, and I will pick out 10 men and 10 women, and I will see what style they use to attract an audience.
Hellbound.
But
And
does that
I'm
prove your
going to
point,
tell
though?
you
Hellbound.
right now that there are going to be more women.
Oh yeah.
using
But
their
I
There are
agree
more-
with
there are
that.
more-
Hey, Hellbound.
Time
All right,
out.
I'm gonna
Time out.
explain that.
And you know there's
I can
hold on.
explain that.
That men can.
There are
some
more-
men
I'm-
can.
There are
I'm the
more
actual
human
Wait, one at
beings.
a time. One at
Yeah,
a
you
time.
guys kind of talk at once. Sweet. You have the
Sorry.
Can I go?
No,
Because I'm the
no.
actual. I'm an actual streamer, so I think I have a little bit of a.
Let
That's
Mikey
all
go.
right.
Let Mikey go.
So here's the thing, though.
Mhm.
Yeah, women can do that on their channel. Men can do that on their channel. The women aren't dominating the streaming platforms with cleavage. They might get some viewers, but they're not going to win. They're not out there making all the big bucks. So just as much as men stream, there's probably more male streamers. The girls might be a little bit more popular, but the men still make the
because they know how to play.
lion's share of the. Well, it's not even so much about the gaming things at this point. It's just personality.
You know
Yeah,
how to
that's
play
true, too.
man.
But here's the thing, Hellbound.
We know
Hellbound,
how
can
to
you-
play too.
Can you imagine?
I will beat everybody.
If I was good at these games, I would be happy to do it, right? I mean, like World of Warcraft, I was decent at it and I streamed it. But can you imagine if I was like naked streaming with my like my crazies would be going? And by the way, I wouldn't give a shit. I'd be like, hey, take it. I don't care. But they would like have a fucking field day with that shit. And I'd be like, I don't fucking care. Who? I
right,
have
let me-
I'm not ashamed of
No,
myself.
no, hold
I
on,
just
hold
say a
on,
couple
hold on.
things.
I just
Couple things.
you just gave me an awful image.
One,
Think about that
One.
bitch. Yeah.
Hold on. What's it?
I'm just
if
kidding.
there are female, like, all right, so I would have to see demonstrated that the female streamers for games, that they're playing so much worse than the men,
Ooh,
that the only reason they're getting views is their tits.
that is
Now-
a bad point to make because if you watch them,
that-
they're not great.
If they're not great, but my point is that if they're getting views for their appearance, it is statistically. I mean, when you look at biology, there are more human beings on the planet attracted to females than there are attracted to males. That is just a way we're made up. There are more women that are at least a little bi than there are men that are a little bi. They exist. Bi men exist all over the place. Gay men exist. But statistically, even if you're a straight woman, most women still have somewhat of a attraction towards other women, even if it's not sexual. There's something there. So, and female gamers are gonna watch more female gamers sometimes.
And keep in mind that female gamers also hit something that is a niche, and it's a niche that exists particularly in gaming culture. So it's kind of you're adding like honey to your sugar.
If that demand didn't
winning
exist,
it's a winning combo.
If people weren't looking for you to be gaming with your boobs out, people probably wouldn't do it. Women wouldn't do it as much if that wasn't part of the appeal.
Why would I want to waste my
Within-
time looking at a game?
But
just
aside
because
from
it has nice
that,
boobs?
when I was in gaming a while back, I used to game. At first, when I get into Xbox, this was years ago. This is like when Halo was new. So I would do Halo PvP maps, and I would do it without really saying who I was. And I got really popular. People loved my maps. I was like semi-famous in that scene. But when that happened, when they found out that I was a girl or a woman,
It changed.
they got very weird about it.
Mhm.
But before they knew that, they were like, "Oh, you badass! This is awesome! Like this shit." It was all great. But when I got on mic and I would start talking to them and be like, yeah, like, oh, that's you?
Oh, you're a girl?
Like, you're a girl, like you're female? I'm like, yeah, you're a girl, like,
In
yeah.
the community's defense, it has improved since then. It's
I
not
know,
as
but
bad as it
my
was.
point is that it's this culture of assuming that if you're a female, you can't possibly be good at these things. Like, how could you be good at strategy?
So is
and
that
battle?
internet.
Girl gamers are like badass. They're vicious as
hold
fuck.
on a second. This is very important for you to understand. So, Sweet Heathen. So when you revealed yourself as female, did they immediately change their attitude towards you, thinking that you were no longer a good player? Is that what you're saying?
50-50. It depended on who I was
Well, I
talking
can
to.
tell you this though. Russian Vids was
There were some
really
people that it was either they would start to get weird, like I wasn't as good, or they would be like, "Wow, we're extra impressed because you're a girl and you did this," which is just as fucking insulting.
They're both dismissive.
Well,
Yeah.
the jury was still out whether she was male or female for quite some time. We're we're
Well,
still
there's
figuring it out. We don't know, but
There's an old rule.
Can I push out of my vagina? Is just
There's an
it's
old
magic.
rule.
Right here, look, see.
There's an old rule on the internet. And it's there are no girls on the internet. And that doesn't actually mean there aren't any females. It means that when you're reading something and somebody does not have a face and doesn't have any name except their avatar, most of the time they are assumed to be a white man.
I play a female character, so yeah.
And that's like just a psychological thing. Of course, that depends on where you go in the world. I'm talking about like Western society specifically.
Yeah.
One of the
very
very
like random character, I tend to choose a character I just want to look at.
Yeah.
It can be male or female,
That's
but
why I
it's
like
one
Blood
I want
Elf
to look at.
Rogues, you know? A Blood Elf Rogue is
Yeah, when I first got on the internet and I used to play a game called Quake 2, and it was a first person shooter game, and we were playing this up on dial-up. This is like before,
Yeah, Quake's old. Quake's old.
big,
Yeah.
And it was pretty much all men that would play, and we used to say that there are no girls, just don't play.
There
games.
are no girls on the internet. Yeah.
Of course.
So it is true, but it's changed a lot since then.
I can tell you this,
Which is good.
When I was doing
But the thing is,
PvP,
you'd probably be surprised actually, because when you were playing, there probably were girls that were playing, right?
when I was doing PvP,
we weren't
that like
talking
girls
about
weren't as good.
it never even
Like,
crossed
that's,
my
you know,
mind.
And also, it could have been like that guy who I thought just kicked my ass for the umpteenth fucking time because we never.
That might have been
interacted.
me.
See, how
Couldn't
about-
have been
how
me.
about-
It couldn't have been some little 12-year-old girl who's
Here's
just like.
the thing:
sitting there
like
going,
when you're making a group,
All right.
right, and
Yeah.
you're getting people to go into your group for the game. Nobody gives a shit what gender they are. All they care about if you can do the job. Except healers, you have to be a woman. You have to be a woman for healing. It's a rule. I didn't make it up.
That's really sad because I've known some male nurses that were so sexy.
Yeah, they were so sexy.
Oh yeah, male nurses
Uh-oh.
or EMT. Oh my god, my weak spot.
Found a spot to hit her. We can get critical damage here, guys. Critical damage right there on the weak spot. It's nursing.
Quick, Steve, next time you show up to go visit Sweet, you have to be wearing scrubs.
I'll take her blood pressure. See if it changes.
Under the thermometer.
Hey, you know what? With COVID-19, I might have to.
Yeah.
Right? I'm gonna go to Boston. I'm gonna be in the full fucking CBR gear, canary
Oh
suit.
no, we're not doing that until this is all completely over.
So, like, coming back to the topic of, so there are some accounts on social media where girls, use those accounts, as we know, with risque photos and stuff,
and make
for
good
their
money
fans
too.
and make money. So what?
Good money.
Well, yeah.
It depends on how popular they are. That's a variable.
Yeah.
But yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, it does.
And so what Hellbound was saying, that men can't do that, or they can't do as much as women can. Is that what you said?
Yes.
So
I mean,
I don't know what are the variables.
The
affecting
reason
that?
is the normalization. Men have not been normalized. It's not normal for men to do it. It hasn't been normalized. It's not a usual. It's not to be expected. It's not as popular.
Exactly.
It doesn't mean they can't do it. It just means it's not as common.
Confession
it could
time.
be.
It's like
It could become as popular. Male models do very well for themselves.
I highly doubt it will. I could be wrong, but
It might.
Well,
it
the
might
thing is,
not. It depends
well,
on society, right? It's up
male
to society.
male models are out there as much as female models. We just don't see them celebrated in the same way that we see female models celebrated, which they should be.
Yeah, but there's
It
also
should
I
be.
celebrate
But it's
Mikey.
also a
society.
culture because
Yeah.
a lot of
Thank
those
you.
models
Thank
tend
you.
to be more effeminate.
If
So
if our society hasn't evolved that way to this point, I don't see what would
Every
suddenly
more.
change tomorrow.
which
that
is
it
the
would.
same thing. So with
Well-
women, like, you know how with women they have the campaigns where they have the more full-figured, natural-bodied women. You know, I love seeing that with men too, with the dad bods and with the, you know, like you have
Yeah, dad bod.
different
Damn right, baby. Damn right.
types of, you know,
I wake up every
stuff.
morning
Yes.
and I
Celebrate
think
it because it's all
Maybe.
sexy. Because just like with men will say, "Hey, we like all sorts of shapes of women. We don't mind stretch marks. We don't mind this and that." You know, some do, some don't.
You
But the
don't.
whole
You
point
don't.
is that
You
there's a
don't
variety.
prefer. You don't
But with
prefer like the
guys,
Greek.
too.
Sorry.
I was married to a Greek, so don't start with me.
Sweet,
No,
sweet,
no, no,
sweet,
no, I meant-
sweet.
I meant the
Don't-
Greek statue, like that Greek idea of the man where he's chiseled and
Yeah, that ain't
With
me
a really
either.
tiny
But-
penis?
We
No, I
know
don't want
how
to confuse that
She's
with the
dating
baby.
Just
Maybe.
wondering,
We know
No,
how
I don't.
hot-
I'm just
hold on,
wondering
hold on.
how.
Hellbelt.
What?
Hellbelt.
Let me
She's
answer.
dating
Can I answer this?
Steve.
I'm
Can I
not a
answer
Greek
this?
god by any means. I am that dad bod, but I'm a good.
Well, hey.
I got a good dad bod. But here's the thing: we should wake up every morning and just give thanks
Can
to
I-
Jesus that Mikey exists.
I want to answer the goddamn
You're
question.
Sure, go ahead.
Hey, stop talking over.
I didn't say anything. You guys were talking over her. Go ahead, sweet. Yes, you have the
Sweet's
floor.
pissed.
He asked me a question. I was
Yes,
just
you have
trying
the
to
floor.
answer it.
Let her talk.
Oh, this is why I don't blame people for not wanting to come in Rum and Coke. It's crazy. But all right, so do I prefer the Greek god statue body?
The
First
Mikey.
of all,
The Mikey.
oh, so you have a really tiny penis, Mikey? All right, we don't need to know
On
that.
a
Yes.
scale of 1 to
The
10,
Mikey.
let's say that.
We
Yes.
didn't have to know.
Yes.
It's fine.
Yes,
we didn't have to
yes.
know that.
Yes, I do.
But-
But that sounds like someone else's problem, not mine.
Just like this is the thing, it comes down to it being a human thing. Some men care more about or have different men have different tastes, right? Some men like size 0, some men like super thick, right?
Dickums.
Women are the same way. And not only just one or the other, it's the range. So you could be perfectly chiseled, you know, and be beautiful to me, or you could be overweight and have a small penis, but your personality overdoes that. It's
So
like Steve here.
Could.
All right,
Could.
fine.
The operative word is could there.
You
We're learning
Well,
about
and-
Steve
Well,
today.
and-
and-
what's
but,
normal
yeah,
life?
and Hellbound.
I'm
Yeah.
not going to get to answer this question properly, so I'm just going to drink more.
For all of you
Just
guys at
drink,
home,
everybody.
But
that is
hang on.
timestamp.
Hellbound. Real quick, you know, and then we'll get back to sweet. Look, and people will know by now.
No, we're not getting back to sweet.
I
Sweet's
prefer,
done.
I
Sweet's
I
done
really
grown.
do like
Sweet's done.
thin blonde hair, blue eyed. You know, 30 something is my dream. Right? I mean, I just for some reason Bobby blonde.
Steve, no.
Yeah, really thin,
No,
like
Steve.
size 1 or 2.
I have the weight of a
But-
size 0 blonde bimbo in my tits.
But here's the thing, right? I would take one sweet over 10 like that.
Each one.
Right?
Guys.
So even though you have preferences
like
and stuff like that, that doesn't mean much, right?
Can I point out maybe the opposite side of the idea? Because the initial idea was what Mani was trying to bring it back to is that women on Twitch will do well because they look good. So
No,
therefore, it's like, well,
No,
that if
no,
that's the
I'm
only
not-
reason they're looking good, they don't even have to be good at the games. Well, I would probably you can turn that around and say, okay, who are the most popular gamers on YouTube? Markiplier's, Jacksepticeye, and PewDiePie. And all they have to do is actually play the game. They don't
Wrong.
even have
I
to
would-
look good.
Ninja.
I would
Ninja,
also
Rob.
argue that you can
Oh, and
say that
Ninja. I
about
forgot
men
about
too.
Ninja.
No.
So
I'm not-
I want Yeah,
I want to
put it out
verify
there.
something. I want to verify something. I'm not saying that the women who are good at their game, you know, are successful only because of their tits. I'm not saying that. I'm saying that some women who might not be good at their game might be using these platforms to
Sure.
earn money in other ways. That's what I was trying to say. That's what I think. So
Right.
Hellbound is trying. I might be speaking for him now, but
But
that's
you
what I
could
got
twist that.
from his.
You could twist that both ways. So look at Markiplier and Jacksepticeye. Those are good examples. I'm not going to say PewDiePie because I don't find him attractive in any way. But
No, I like
sorry,
him.
PewDiePie. But
Mark is
Jacksepticeye
only as
and
popular as
Markiplier-
he is because his voice is made out of butter.
Yeah, there you go.
Just
But-
like,
Likely
just
reason he
like
was
mine.
successful.
My
Just
point is,
like my
that's
voice.
my point though. It's not something specific to women because you know, I know, like, for not really myself, whatever, but for some other women I know and moms I know, they like/tolerate Markiplier and Jacksepticeye because they're adorable. They're cute. They're cute guys. You know, they're fun.
It's friendly. It's
like,
their personality.
And,
yeah,
and
they
Markiplier's
have
worth
this,
$24 million.
and they're closer to some of our ages than our kids. So it's this weird, like, okay, well, they're kind of like we were not too long ago. You know, they're close in that range. So should we say these guys are horrible for using their sex appeal and their cute appeal and their, you know, adult appeal to engage with us moms because we're letting our kids watch them, so because we're amused too? Is that like them? Is that them using their male privilege and their sex appeal for that?
A little bit.
Well, if,
You know, it's part of it.
if you're asking
It
me,
is part of it.
because my statement earlier, I said if I was a woman, I would be doing that. I don't think there's anything wrong with it.
But you're
I
a
want to
guy.
make
You
that
can
very
do
clear.
it too. It's not like if I'm a woman, you're a guy. Why don't you do it?
It doesn't matter. You can
Because
do
I
it.
wouldn't.
Other guys do
I
it.
would not
Oh,
go
are
forward.
you scared of
Like, I'm a
I'm
woman.
scared of
I
some
don't do
backlash
it.
or some
I'm not good enough
Here.
for games. That's why.
Because this is
Go ahead, whip it out,
this is
dude.
the problem. Well, the issue is that Hellbound, the way you're saying that, and I'm not saying you actually mean it this way. The way you're saying that is implying that because it's easy for women to do that, any woman can just do that, which is not the case.
Right.
No,
If I was a woman,
Yeah.
I would do that. If you were a woman, you might not be
Right.
able.
Yeah. Whatever's
Right?
holding
Yeah.
you back now as a
I'm
man,
a
you can hold somebody
well,
back
well,
as a
Chess,
woman.
it's kind of,
Yeah,
it's
that's
kind of
true.
like it's kind of the
That's
same thing when we hear people say, well, you know, anybody can go on YouTube, this is this, and yet, you know, we have to do a show and we've done thousands of videos, and when you're on YouTube and you're especially in a conversation with somebody, that's a skill set you have to learn over time. And I know a lot of people that just aren't able to do that, and they think that anybody can go make a video, anybody could, you know, survive on YouTube. Go ahead, try. It is very difficult.
I tried.
It takes
once,
years
and
of
then I
yeah,
gave
it's
up.
yeah. I mean, it's so even if you're hot as shit, you know, you think you're gonna jump onto YouTube and become a superstar. Not gonna
No
happen
way.
no matter what you look like, no matter
There's
what
a
your cup
reason
size is.
why
I wouldn't even.
don't do
I
it.
think I've
I
never even
want
wanted
to, but
to
I
try.
Yeah.
But actually, if I was a woman, I'd actually be a pro dom. I would not be on YouTube. I'd be a pro dom because they make much more money.
Lick
It's
my
much
lick,
easier.
lick my
Oh,
like,
okay,
like,
so
like,
why
lick
don't
my
Okay,
you
but
shin
then
now?
again,
down.
that's not something.
This is
you
you're
Women
missing
do
the
it
point.
now.
You can do that now.
You're missing the point.
The
yeah,
gender
so
is
hold
not.
on.
The gender doesn't matter. You can still do it.
I'll do
No.
that.
Yeah.
My-
Can I talk
Yeah.
can I
Okay,
talk
hold
as a
on.
fix?
Hold on.
My
Hold on,
my
hold on,
tie
hold on,
my tie
hold on.
chime
Let
in
me-
for just one moment. Hellbound.
Shut up.
You're pulling a me. Drop the shovel. You're pulling a
Who's
me.
you?
Bro has to
You
come in
missed
and
the
save the
point.
day.
Hellbound.
You're digging
hold on.
your own hole deeper. Is what
Can
you're
I
saying.
can I just
Okay.
Yeah, that's
can I just
But-
ask real quick?
No, I don't
Hellbound.
want to. Yeah.
Hellbound.
You're pulling a Mikey.
Hellbound.
Just,
Did you hear what I said?
I'm blocking my spot.
No, I did. I
Yeah,
didn't.
this
Judge.
is
Hold
a
on.
good conversation, though. No, he's not digging a hole. It's fine.
Yeah, he's
It-
fine.
It's
He's
a good
fine. Okay,
conversation.
Cheshire,
So-
We're
hang on,
teasing.
I'm
Mike.
actually being 100% honest with you.
Yeah, it's cool.
I'm
No,
not-
this
I'm
is
not-
Yeah, yeah,
it's
yeah,
good.
that's
He's,
good.
look,
Yeah.
he's just having
It's
a
all good.
conversation.
Okay, Shesh, go ahead. Stop, everybody. That shit stop.
So my question was what I had said a minute ago when I was talking about how the way it comes across when you say that. Did you hear what I had said?
Go ahead. Would you mind?
Okay,
repeating
so
that?
I'll go ahead and repeat. So what I had said was, the way you're saying that implies, or is kind of putting forward this idea that any woman can do this job. Not every
Right, I
woman
did hear
can
that.
do this job. So if you were a woman, you wouldn't necessarily be able to do a dom's job or to do the job as a thought on Twitch. You wouldn't necessarily be able to do that because
No, you probably-
it's a skill set. You have to be able to you not only do you need to have the proper assets, you need to have to drive the confidence, the personality type. You have to be appealing. You have to be
Right.
entertaining. It's not that simple.
You're right.
Yeah, Helios
Yeah.
for $5
Yes,
says,
you are correct. You are
you-
correct.
So yeah, when you go ahead.
Super chat.
Yeah.
Helios,
So I would,
One
but-
second. One second.
Just-
Well,
yeah,
hang on,
Super chat,
hang on,
super
hang on,
chat.
hang on, super chat, and then sweet, and then Hellbound. We're gonna have a little moderation here because everybody's talking over each other. So Helios says, If you think that men can't do sex appeal to make money without being Sean Connery levels, look at Onision, who's a blooming idiot, and yet he had but I wouldn't call that sex appeal. He has like teeny boppers after him. That's not sex appeal. That's creepy. All right, so go ahead.
Whether
Sue.
you like it or not, Onision is considered attractive by a lot of people.
Yeah.
Period.
Yeah.
Because of his like.
I don't
He's a pretty
get it,
boy.
but-
Yeah, he's a pretty boy.
and
I don't
all
find.
that shit.
I would take a Sean Connery over him any day.
I'm gonna take a pass and.
Well,
hold
that's
on
your
with
personal
Mark
preference,
Jackson.
Damn
right?
right,
That
Sean
was
Connery's
correct.
fucking hot.
Yeah.
I'm okay with my sexuality.
Well, yeah.
Go ahead, Trish.
Okay. Well, where
I mean,
were
sorry.
we? Where were we? Back to the
No,
Sweet.
hold
Back
on.
to sweet. Back to
Okay,
sweet.
so
No. God damn it, Hal.
So-
You're gonna say the trash.
Okay, so absolutely, I agree with Cheshire about that. However, if I was in that position, and obviously I would have been a woman my entire life, if I would have gone in a direction where I was going to do something like that, like let's say I started out modeling and then maybe doing some risque photos and then maybe moved into other things and then started doing like webcam stuff or, stuff like that, it would naturally, I would probably go either one of those directions, either creating a Twitch account or possibly like some fans only site.
OnlyFans.
Or
Yes.
right, OnlyFans,
Wait,
thank you.
So if you were sorry,
Or
I-
a prodom. Or a prodom.
I have
Go
to
ahead.
interject. If you're saying if you were a woman attractive enough and capable of doing those things, not if you were a woman.
No. If I
If you were a
started out
woman capable
if
of
I
doing
was
those
a
things.
woman, if I was a woman for my entire life,
Entire-
You could be-
hold on.
you could be a woman your
What is the
entire
Yeah, you
difference?
could be.
Hold
We
on,
don't
hold on.
know.
Let me just.
And not-
My turn.
Wow, angry
Sorry,
unicorn
sorry,
Mania
I
is
have to say
out.
that. Hellbound.
I will-
Hold on, everybody.
that's all right.
Can I
Don't
just
have to get
Hold
too
on, Tesh,
emotional.
Please, just let me just say.
Go ahead.
How is it different if you replace your same statement if I replace a woman by a man?
You're absolutely correct. I could have that trajectory in my life right now. Yes, I could if I would have started out that way. Yes.
And you know you're not a woman.
can I-
Hellbound, are you sure about that?
Okay.
can I jump in here real quick?
Yeah.
You're creating a very, very specific scenario and implying that every woman could be in that scenario, and that's not the case.
No.
That's what I'm
I
saying.
can't be. I can't be in
That's-
that
yeah.
scenario.
Saying like if I was
So-
a woman, I would do this. Like no, if you were a attractive, charismatic, young, vibrant woman,
In
then maybe you would
modeling,
do that.
and
But there
That's
are
a very
lots of
specific-
young, vibrant, attractive, gorgeous women that choose not to have a public
Yeah, I mean-
life. They just don't want that kind of.
I think
Or
though,
there are
Yes.
also
Yeah, I don't
Okay.
understand what that means.
if I was a
Okay,
vibrant,
I-
young, beautiful woman, I'd be dating myself.
Okay.
Yeah, pretty much.
So
like
I see
So-
that cloning machine. I'll be
I
all
know.
set for life.
Or dating Mikey,
so
one or the
originally
other.
what I was talking
Yes.
So originally, what I was talking about was I was making a generalization, and I was saying that it seems like a lot of people on Twitch, for example, a lot of women on Twitch, they can get by with just their looks, as opposed to the men getting
No,
by just
no,
on their
immediately
looks.
wrong.
Huh? Immediately wrong?
Immediately wrong.
I don't know.
Okay.
Immediately wrong.
We have a
Because
penalty in
Everybody-
play. We have a
And
penalty in play.
as you hold, guys, as we've already agreed on, and as Hellbone has agreed with us already, it's not that simple. You can't get by just on looks. You have to be good at either a personality, or you have to be good at marketing, or you have to be good at being appropriate with yourself and how you interact with your audience. You can't. It's not any girl can go and be a stripper and make a shit ton of money.
That's two separate,
Any girl can
things you just said, though.
Any girl
Two
can
separate
go
things.
and any girl can go and do and go on Twitch and show their body on Twitch, but they're not necessarily going to be successful.
Yeah. They might do
And
it
to be
once and
successful,
after that be
you
like,
need
nah, whatever.
to be more than just a pair of tits.
Right.
But
'Cause
there
anybody
are-
can be a
but
pair of
there- But there are literal pairs of tits streaming, and you
Yeah,
But
that's
they're
all they
not-
are.
yeah,
pretty
but that's
much.
not-
Yeah.
No, it's not, because
Some of
there's marketing around. I'm done. I give up. Goodbye. I'm done with this conversation. Fuck off.
Oi!
It's really hard to have a conversation with people
Wow.
when you yell over the top of them. But it's okay. We'll try again next time.
Yeah, I think
the thing with that,
I think there's
so.
a-
I can take it up for Shesh there. I think so. What she's saying is, it's not just a pair of tits.
But there are some that are
It's
just
a lot
pair of
around
tits.
that too.
Yeah.
And
Yes.
that's why I specifically asked Hellbound, what's the difference if you replace what the statement he made, the specific statement, if the woman has been in modeling and she wants to go towards something becoming a dom or something, and she's got the good looks and everything, if I take out the woman from there, put a man in who's good looking, who has been doing modeling, and he wants to pursue something like that, what's the difference? That's what I'm asked. That's what my question was. The thing is, there's no difference. Gender doesn't matter.
Theoretically,
you can still do it. You can do it.
Okay. So theoretically, you guys are 100% right. But we can go to mixer.com right now and we can find a girl not really doing much of anything. And then suddenly she has a tank top on and the embers start flowing into her
I think that's true. Yeah.
So are you saying that that's not the same for guys, that a good-looking guys don't get to do that? Are you saying that?
I have not seen it in my experience. Maybe that's anecdotal.
You have not seen in your experience. That's the thing, right. It's not normalized.
So it's not normalized. So if it's not normalized, nobody sees it, but we have to argue it theoretically. And I'm not saying that every girl gamer is just a pair of tits and they're all stupid. But there are girls who can literally just do nothing.
I agree with that.
Yes. And that's okay. And that's perfectly fine.
But
because they are entitled to do whatever they want on their they're entitled to do whatever they want on their
Mikey. I don't see any issue with that.
I don't think anybody is saying that what they're doing is bad or that they're bad gamers. They're whatever. That's not what we're talking about. What we're talking about is that does it exist that there are girls who can use their looks to make money on streaming platforms when they're not great at video games? And yes, but do they? And then you guys bring up these super popular people. But then you hold on.
But hold on, Mikey. Come on. Let me just interject here.
I've been waiting for 10 minutes.
But do they? You asked the question, but do they? But whose fault is it that they don't?
Cool. I mean, again, you guys are talking about the theoretical. I'm talking about what literally happens on the thing.
I'm asking you the question. I'm asking the question. You're saying, but do they? You're saying that most of the guys don't do it, right? But the question, what Hellbound's question is that most of the guys don't do it because it's not going to work. But have we tried that? Has anybody tried that?
You can go on Twitch right now and see 1,000 people with one viewer, and it's probably their cell phone.
But there are girls also like that. There are girls also like that, right? With just one viewer and on the cell phone, right?
I don't see what the argument is here. I'm actually.
I don't know what
100%.
I'm not. I don't know what they're.
I'm kind of following, but not really.
I don't know what they're. Hold on, Manya. I waited for you. It's my turn, please. So I'm not sure what the issue is. He's saying if he was a girl, this is all his opinion. This is what he would want to do, and he would try to do that. And everyone's saying that's not fair. I don't know that that's not fair. He's saying what he would do if he was a woman. There's not a problem with that statement.
It started off from somewhere else. It started off from somewhere else. The original statement was.
Hellbound, where am I off?
No. You're on point. You're on point. Yeah. So what I was originally saying was that it seemed like if you were on Twitch, you could make more money as a woman than you could as a guy. Just generally.
Yeah,
generally.
that's.
And if I was in that position, I would do it. I don't think there's anything wrong with it. I'm not saying that. I'm saying that it's just. I think it's a niche that women can fill, and they can make money at it. I think if you're a guy, you have to put a lot more work into it. That's what.
Sure, it's like saying if I was a guy, I would try to climb to the top of to become CEO of a company that was a multi-billion profitable company, because it's easier for a guy to do that. So if I was a guy, that was something I would try to do.
There's exactly a flip side to that.
You fully acknowledge that not every man has the
I can see the point.
Here we go. Hang on. I think what needs to be pointed out, and I think Mikey pointed out, but I don't think Manya heard. He differentiated between the theoretical and the real, right? And so it is the case right now. I mean, objectively speaking, the vast majority of streamers, the female streamers, do objectively better. I mean, the female ones are attractive that use their assets.
I don't see any of these streamers though. I'm curious because everybody I follow or watch is male.
Oh, I tell you right now, I don't watch them.
Watches is male.
I've watched.
I don't think we have
any
hard numbers, so we're all kind
some
of
videos.
Freeballing.
Yeah, I'm confused because like everybody I see that's really famous and popular for gaming, especially, is male. I don't know who these female streamers are. So I'm really like, to me, it's bizarre to hear you
I just
say
I
this.
just know. I mean,
Yeah,
I don't
there
know
are
their names.
some
I just know the
female
ones I've seen
streamers
on
who might have
videos,
made
but-
it through, but I don't think that they would have made it through if they didn't have some skill set in gaming. They
Right,
wouldn't have
but
made it
that's-
out.
Mikey said
Well,
that though. Manya, Mikey told.
There-
That's
there
what
have-
it is.
Yeah,
Yeah, I mean,
he's
it's
very clear with that.
it's also this is just an opinion of mine, and I'm just putting it out there, and I really appreciate you putting up with me and
Very
know,
freaking me out or
Very
anything. I do
$65.
appreciate
Please
it.
Yeah, I'm
stop.
drunk.
What is the demographic for male to female viewers on Twitch? I probably would
Exactly.
imagine they're probably more male viewers, mostly because demographically wise, like I know my demographics, right? I'm like 93% male or something like that.
All right.
It's pretty
Can
high.
Can I just make a really random? I have to cite something because I know this being a mom of a 13-year-old girl. There are a lot of 13-year-old girls out there on Twitch that are posing as guys.
Oh
It's
yeah,
just a thing they do
Wow.
because they want to be taken fucking seriously and they want to be.
it's also kind of like I've made this like notice of the modeling industry. The women in the modeling industry are becoming more non-feminine, if I might say.
Mhm.
They're preferring more women with not without the
More
curves, but with the
androgynous, yeah.
straight bodies and with boyish looks, if I might
Mhm.
say. You know, that's what's happening in the female modeling industry at this point. And yeah, so I don't know why, but it's just an observation. You know,
No, you're right. That's
You
something
know,
I've seen too.
with more like, teenage boy looks and all that,
But it's I don't know if it's so much but I wouldn't want to make it sound like it's pushing females to look like males because there's the same thing on the other side with males.
No, it's
pushing males
about
to
going
look more
for,
like
I think
female.
so, more
I think it's
alien-like,
more like
unusual looks.
See, like it's trying to make it more to the point of you're not sure if it's a male or a female.
They like the
Yeah.
androgynous. look.
Androgynous.
Yeah,
Androgynous,
yeah.
yes.
The androgynous kind of thing, and that's a whole industry in total. So with men,
Yeah.
making sure like with men, you're not quite sure which way they are. With women, you're not quite sure which way they are.
Mhm.
So
Just
people
use
are
mannequins.
Yeah, I hate mannequins. Fuck
Faceless mannequins.
No, no
So
mannequins.
Manya, if you did this,
creepy.
Manya, what game would you play if you were a Twitch streamer? What game would you?
Maybe I'm being
Something with
discriminatory because
combat
I'm
on the
voluptuous.
ground.
You're against flat
Voluptu-
face
I
mannequins.
love that
and
word, too,
fans.
I'm against flat everything.
Yeah, she got curves where there's supposed to be
Flat
curves.
chest.
I got curves.
Yeah, I ain't no stick figure.
Manya's gorgeous. Don't get me started. Curves.
Continue, please. Continue praising me. I like that.
Continue praising me.
She's
Manya,
beautiful.
you've changed.
She's curvy enough. She has great fashion sense.
She can Bollywood dance.
Yeah, with my
She can
unicorn.
Bollywood dance.
Damn.
Can't
She's
hold her
too
alcohol,
cute and
but-
innocent to get my trolling jokes. It's you know.
Manya, what game would you play? You didn't answer.
Something like
Hearthstone.
combat, like war combat game,
War
something
combat?
like that. Huh?
Call of Duty.
Yeah, something like
Is that
that,
right,
or
Mikey,
maybe
aren't you
even
playing Call of
try. Huh?
Yeah, I was.
Yeah.
I paused it. Someone chopping
Yeah.
onions?
Yeah, who's building
not
a
me.
boat?
Not me.
Someone.
Oh, that's my neighbor. Sorry about that. Yeah.
What
Oh,
Wait.
they're cutting the
Somebody
body.
breaking in? Did you
every
say you want to
day
order an
chop
angel shot?
something up.
Tell him to put some lube on that thing.
They want
Jesus.
it.
Damn, somebody's
Yeah.
hitting that pretty hard, man. Yeah.
Boy, am I so glad
Yeah.
that I'm wearing headphones and they couldn't hear you guys right now.
You don't wake the
Hey,
neighbors.
I will
You ain't
fly
doing it
out there
right.
and make them hear.
So Shesh really went away. No. Shesh,
Just
come back.
gone.
I'm missing
Yeah, it's
all
not right
of it.
without Shash.
Yeah.
No, it was
Well,
fun with Shesh.
Well, I hope she forgives
Somebody.
me. Hope she doesn't hate me now.
Oh, she.
No,
yeah.
you're done, Hellbound.
No,
We're just gonna kick you
I'm
out
done,
of
that's it.
society.
Yeah.
Might as well check out the Goblin Queen is
We're
out to
done.
get me.
You're okay until Manya when you piss Manya off, then you know you're done.
That's
Leophilius Lionhearted for $5 says, "Because I like you, Steve." Oh, thank you.
Aw.
Brilliant.
for
There
your
was a
birthday,
$5
Daniel.
chat from Berlin too. Did you read that?
But Hellbound, if there's ever anything else you want to talk about, these are really important issues, and I think that
Yes.
these bridging the gaps on these subjects is really important. So I wasn't expecting to have somebody in here right now to be contesting that, but I really want to talk more about that if you're willing to, even offline.
I think it's.
You know
I
how to
mean,
hit me out.
I think it's fascinating. I mean, when I was growing up in high school and stuff, we didn't have this concept of MGTOW, or incel.
Right.
There were obviously guys who wanted girlfriends, but they couldn't get girlfriends for whatever reason, and it's usually because they didn't make themselves attractive. There was something. If you're out always on the hunt looking for a woman, you're not going to find her. You have to.
I disagree. No, I do so disagree with that.
Sad thing.
Anyway, I mean, I'm.
No,
anyhow,
but that to me is like that's a really important thing, because it's that idea of you have to make yourself a certain way to be attractive to women. And women have felt a long time that we have to make ourselves a certain way to be attractive to men. Instead of both people just being themselves and letting the people that are attracted to them be attracted to them, and like that how
I
they're working out.
I disagree.
That's a big problem.
I disagree, because I think a lot of people are shitheads, and a lot of people aren't great at listening. A lot of people are bad for relationships, which is why they can never get into a relationship. Because the aesthetic is not always the deciding factor. You have to be a good person.
Well,
so some people need to be good people.
I'm not talking about
we're not talking about the assholes here. We're not talking about the
physical.
assholes here, Mikey.
I'm talking about it's a whole
lot of people are
package
assholes.
thing. It's a whole package thing. And we see that more with, like, look at the divorce rates right now. It's because of people being more aware. Yeah.
Really, that's true.
Jesus. That's a whole, But look at people who are becoming more aware that fitting into a certain box of what they're supposed to be for somebody, and that person is trying to fit into a box of what they think they're supposed to be for somebody, and they're not quite getting along, and it's a problem.
Just missing each other.
It's because they're both trying to be fake something that they think they're supposed to be, instead of being themselves.
Too much work.
And letting the people that would naturally be attracted to them be attracted. It happens, right? Yeah. I know people, I have friends, and the reason we get along, and again, we said part of the reason that some women don't love me is because I empathize with my male friends, because they are just themselves and they're looking for what they're looking for. They want what they want, but they feel like they have to be a certain way because the stereotypical woman wants this type of thing.
You mean we don't have to be nice to you?
Mm-hmm.
Damn! Now I know this. God.
It's your benefit to be nice to us.
Damn it!
But my point is that there are women out there that, like, if you're a guy that wants to be aloof and just go out and have fun, maybe have a steady partner, but that partner also likes to have fun with you and somebody else, that should be okay. That should be an acceptable desire that you have. If you want to have that kind of existence, but then you find the women that are into that. Those women exist.
Oh, yes.
But those women have been shamed into not allowing themselves to express themselves that way. And so when, when you're saying, oh, women are this way, like blah, 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 it's like, no, these women aren't that way because that's how they are. We're that way because, honestly, men have told us to be that way.
Or religion.
To be prudent.
Yeah, but I think,
I
absolutely agree with you, Sweet. I mean, I don't disagree with you there. I absolutely do agree with you. One of the things that I enjoy about having this broad conversation, and it is a broad conversation, I think it touches a lot of areas. It is very important because it seems like when I came onto the internet, like, YouTube, I guess I should say, it's like 2006 or 2007. But there was this rise of course, of Gamergate, and then this very hardline feminism. And then it seemed, I could be completely mistaken about this. I could be absolutely wrong. I'm just throwing it out there. I feel comfortable enough with you to just throw it out there.
Yeah, you should. I hope so.
Whip it out, man. Whip it out.
Whip it out.
We're all friends here.
It's nothing I haven't seen before.
Okay, well,
good.
When we get to that bridge, we'll cross it. No, I'm just kidding. No, but it just seems like a lot of the MGTOW incel thing just kind of came up as like a reaction to this. That's my opinion. And I think that's kind of like where we're at right now. And so now it's kind of like this battle of well, it's your fault. No, it's my fault. Or no, it's your fault. No, it's your fault.
Right.
Or it's kind of like this back and forth. And I think people are very afraid to talk about it because it's this taboo topic. And it's how a lot of things are in
It's
our
a hard
culture because-
conversation. For a lot of
It's a
people.
And
very
also, I
difficult
think the internet
conversation.
just opened up the floodgates. Before, you could you grew up in your neighborhood, you had your friends, you guys could sit around and talk about it, find out, hey, you know what? We're all pretty much the same. We all have fears. We all have this. We can all get along. And then all of a sudden, you're introduced to this internet with people from around the world with completely different opinions than yours. And you get together, and then one guy's in the comment section going, "Oh, I fucking hate you because blah
Yeah,
blah blah."
goddamn
blah.
Canadians and Bostonians.
Yeah, really, exactly.
Yeah.
I think a lot of it has to do with not, and this is something that everybody has to do. Don't let the extremist of your group
Right.
take
Control it.
over.
Yeah.
Yeah,
And that's exactly
because
what we're
that's-
doing right now.
Yeah, that's
Super
what
chat real quick.
happens. And go ahead.
Oh, sorry. No, I waited for a pause. I think you're done. Finish. Please.
No.
Oh,
go
so,
ahead.
okay. Failed in engineering for $2. I love Steve. We love you too. We all love Manya. She was a precious
If
little
you don't love
gemstone
Manya, then
that was
you have problems.
nobody knew who she was, and she was just on Facebook groups, and I was like, okay, this is going to change. And now look what happened. Now look at her. She has been. You guys don't even know the changes she has had. It's ridiculous.
She really broke out of her shell, huh?
She's no longer golden. Yeah.
No.
Anyway,
Oh,
sweet.
that's
Go
why you
ahead.
changed your name.
Oh, that's funny.
Sweet. You have the floor. Go ahead.
Oh gosh, I don't remember where I quite left off.
This is why I don't like interrupting
you.
you. She loses her train of thought too quickly.
Oh, alcohol, good. Alcohol.
What are you drinking now, sweet? What do you got?
Oh, rum and coke.
Oh,
As a
wow.
friend.
Going old school. Rum and Coke for rum and Coke tonight?
I finished this much of mine, so I think I'm all right.
Nice.
Good God. How you only had that much of you, that buzz? Oh, you got Corporate Morgan. You got good stuff. Yeah. How
That's
did you
not good stuff. What the fuck?
That is good stuff.
Yeah, well, this is from a guy who thinks Applebee's is quality cuisine. So
We're gonna have words. We're gonna have words. By the way, we got dollar drinks. Okay, dollar
Where did
fucking
Josh
drinks.
Go? Josh,
Yeah,
come
they have like
back.
Dollaritas. They have like dollar Long Island iced teas. Yeah.
Well, she has the link. She can always come back in whenever she
But Monty,
wants.
how are you so buzzed off drinking so little?
I
She's
don't know.
tiny.
I just don't know. I think
Hmm.
I have no idea how.
she's new.
Cheapest
I think
date
so
we've
because
ever gonna have.
Years
I
of
drink only
alcoholism
when-
that we have.
Yeah, I'm not resistant to alcohol yet. I've not developed that resistance. I think so because what
She's working on it though. She's working on it.
fine. It's just that I think so because
You don't
I
have any
just drink.
resistance. No, I'm just kidding.
Resistance
Yeah,
is
you can
futile.
laugh. Go ahead, laugh. It's just that I just drink like once a week whenever I'm like sitting down with you guys. So
Oh yeah, you got to drink every day.
Oh,
And then go back
all day
and forth
long,
like that,
24/7.
Right before work, when I get home from work. No, I'm just kidding.
Driving down the road. No, don't do that.
Exactly. When I
No,
wake
we-
up in
see-
the morning
see,
before I go to
we
sleep,
made-
after lunch.
We made sure when Manya started to drink alcohol, because she never drank it before, that she was in a safe place with safe people, and we gave her very specific guidelines. If she ever violates, we'll fly down to New Zealand and bait the crap out of her in real life. So
I would love an excuse. I'm dying to go to New Zealand. So.
Yeah, really.
tell me
So-
that I've been a naughty girl. Eh?
like for example,
Be
like,
naughty and I'll be right there to spank you.
Manya, you like for example, you never go to a bar
That's
by
an
yourself,
OnlyFans
right?
site.
Right? You're right. You never go to a bar by yourself.
And we'll live stream it,
No.
for the right Patreon
OnlyFans, yeah.
Mhm.
I'm not jumping back into this arena with y'all with this OnlyFans shit.
Oh, OnlyFans.
Not doing
Why?
it.
Why?
Is
It's
O-
not-
is OnlyFans
Mikey-
new, or is
Mikey
it
and
something
I
that's been
can't be
around?
stuck- The only thing is Mikey
It's
and I
been
can't be
around.
stuck
It's been
together
popular
because
in
we're
UK
related.
for a while. It's been
It's just
popular
because
in
of the
UK.
whole iDubbbz thing. It became because it's the first time I've ever heard of it.
iDubbbz on Esion and all that shit. Yeah.
Yeah.
Mikey, you want to do that? You're
So
no,
depressing.
nothing on camera, nothing on video.
What
The
I would.
massively nice body of yours, you wouldn't show it off, and
So these economic times have been hitting all of us a little close to home. Me and my girl both looked at each other like, Yo, you take a picture of my feet, I'll take a picture of your feet. Like, let's get this shit.
Yeah, hey, I get it, right?
Feet are a
Yeah,
thing, right?
I'm not. Hey, I do not have a foot fetish, but I have nice feet, and hey, if it made me a dime,
Hey,
sure.
if somebody
I gotta
wants,
say, like,
if someone wants to give me like
Look
$1,
at my feet.
Steve
There we go.
does have nice feet.
I'm not
He does have
I'm
nice
not
feet.
braggadocio. I'm not. But
I have bad feet. He has really nice feet.
I take pride in it. Here's the reason: because I was in retail for so long, and I'm telling you, you have to have good feet to be in retail, right? I mean, it's because you're standing on your feet all day, so you take good care of them. So
you got to. Take care of your feet, and your feet will take care of you.
right?
I take care of my feet.
Take care of your feet, and your feet will take you wherever you
But
want to
she
go.
still can't touch my feet. That's a taboo. My feet
Take
are
care of
all-
your feet,
yeah.
and then take
I'm
pictures
not-
of your feet, and then sell them on the internet.
I'm sorry, but as much as how much I love somebody, they're never going to touch my
Anybody
feet.
want pictures of
That's
my
not gonna
feet?
happen.
I could give. Yeah, you can have them for $50.
Even Jesus, if he wanted to anoint my feet with oil, I'd be like, no, dude, no. Get away from
No.
my
See,
feet.
I'm not even into
no.
feet, but what Manya just said, I'm like, do I have $50 lying around?
Do I got it?
What does Manya want? Wait. What does Manya want to do? Manya, what?
She's
She
going to
said for
sell pictures of her
$50.
feet for $50.
I'm not. See, I'm not.
Some
Yeah, but her feet's
feet.
not what I like about Manya. Manya's got. Have you seen Manya when she stands up and shakes that ass, that moneymaker? Holy
Yeah, but
shit!
Steve, she's not talking
could be a
about you.
fucking
She's
multi-millionaire.
talking about the
Millionaire.
majority of men out there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. See,
Now
you're not
I'm
the only person on the
demonetized.
internet. There it goes.
She's making a generalization.
This is a sales ad.
Look at this. Steve's pimping out his friends.
Wait a minute. Let her pin you for a minute.
That was unsolicited, and I not tell her to do that. Okay, so don't blame
Yeah.
me.
I
We
did not
we just reap the
consent
benefit
to
of
that.
it. We love you.
Oh, crap.
Tell
Look at the
mom,
smile.
like,
Look
what did I get
how happy
myself
she
into?
is. I love
Exactly.
Manya when
His
she's
mouth.
I
happy.
love
Manya when
happy
she's-
Manya.
Right?
I'm just-
Angry
my
Manya and
mouth is
happy Manya.
malfunctioning.
They're either good, right? Doesn't matter.
I'm just
You're both
fixing this
equally as
mouse.
beautiful.
Yes.
I didn't see any of that. I was fixing my mouse, so I'm sorry I missed it, guys. I was very busy.
Yeah.
Oh.
Is
Trying to
that
get me
what your
stabbed,
girlfriend-
Manya? What's your problem?
You do realize, Mike, you're allowed to look, right? I mean, unless your old lady is so.
no, that's
She's like,
why
no.
I'm also allowed to die.
Oh
This
wow.
is
So-
half of the
so-
reason. It's 50% of the reason that I adopted Mikey as my new younger brother, because that way he can't get in trouble for talking to me.
There we go.
Okay, I get that. Okay, no, that's fine. But I mean, so she won't even let you look. Wow.
Oh. Baby, what
I'm
are you
not
doing
judging.
with that?
I'm trying to understand. That's all. Not judging.
Baby, what are you doing with that
Realizing
whetstone and
now
that
I'm
pocket
like,
knife?
personally.
She's just.
No, it's cool. Hey, look, I get it, man. I like crazy women, right? So I mean, the more psychotic, the better. I mean, I remember back in the day that what is it? Your overly attached girlfriend who no longer does it.
Hashtag why he talks to me.
Yeah, I mean, dude, where do you find one of those, right? You know,
I just.
and we're not
I'm a
talking about
big
them crazy
fan
that
of
just wants
my-
to do videos about me either. That's a different. We're not talking about that.
I'm a big fan
Oh,
of
the
my
videos
head.
are coming.
I'm a big fan of my head, and I like it where it's currently located. I'm comfortable with where it's currently stationed on my body, not up my ass.
You know what's
so-
funny, sweet? When people thought like Chesh and I were fighting, there was a whole bunch of people that had just messaged her going, like, "Oh my god, yeah, so you and Steve, fuck him, right?" And she's just like, "What the hell's going on?"
Oh yeah.
I'm surprised they don't all like go after you and go, "Hey, so what got some shit on Steve,
Well, that's why I said it's one of those like Rakim moments, right? So it's like, oh well, we're saying it now, so it can't actually happen. But how funny would it be? I could very easily be like, oh, I'm so mad at Steve. He said this about me, and they would all flood in because they've done it before.
Oh yeah.
But, like, it's like, oh well,
should do an
you're saying it
experiment.
out loud
Yeah.
now, so it won't work. It would still work. I bet
It'll
it
still
would
work. It'll still work. Yeah, because they
Are
don't
we
watch this
talking
shit
about how
anymore.
often you beat puppies, Steve?
Well, he's always eating puppies. I'm always eating kittens, and
Tell you that tell people that I was like, you know what? I said, fuck sweet Manya. I'm now going to be hots for Manya. That's it. Now people
That's
believe
fine.
that and they wouldn't care actually, but yeah.
nobody would care.
Yeah,
Like,
nobody would
literally,
care.
because nobody cares
No,
about me.
that's not at all.
How about Mikey? There we go. I went for Mikey. I don't want to get
They'd
him in
have to
trouble.
know
with his
what.
brother.
They'd have
That's
to know
fine.
who
I'll
I
find a
was.
new YouTube boyfriend real fast.
I need a YouTube boyfriend. Yeah, there you go.
You need one of each. YouTube boyfriend, YouTube girl.
Hey, Hellbound, do you want to be my new YouTube boyfriend?
Sure, why not?
All right, yeah, there, so you're done. Here we go.
So it is.
It doesn't take much,
Here,
right?
Make it,
Nice.
Make it-
Easy peasy,
Just
lemon squeezy.
tweet me.
just
Call me.
we'll make it even better for him, sweet. We'll tell everyone we're brother and sister and we're dating. And we'll see how that goes.
Oh,
There we
yeah.
go.
Oh, you're from Arkansas.
Yeah.
Okay.
Hey,
Hey, if your girlfriend
keep it in
can
the
survive
family.
that, I'm down.
Arkansas, Alabama,
Yeah,
Tennessee.
she turned off the stream. I think she's going back to turn it back on. So I got about 10
I don't
seconds.
blame
Tell her
her.
like it is,
Here's
Mikey. Tell
I would-
us
I would
now.
be scared
But
too,
Mikey, do you want to
because
add
I
her
would
angel
steal
shot?
it from you.
What, sweet?
Hmm?
What?
What?
Yeah,
I
angel shot.
didn't say anything about stealing Mikey's girlfriend.
Oh.
I didn't say anything
I just
about
heard something
that.
about an
I
angel
don't even
shot.
know. I don't know what you're talking about.
Mikey's girlfriend is
Wouldn't-
fucking hot. I mean, let's be realistic
Wouldn't-
here.
Wouldn't surprise me if Sweet stole my girlfriend.
This is why I'm saying I still think she's CGI. I haven't figured it all out, but
Oh, that's why Mikey doesn't like bring his girlfriend around. Because
yeah,
he's
yeah.
scared that
No,
Sweet
he's
will
very
steal
possessive of her.
He's afraid that I'll steal her. I
Yes.
understand.
Which
Yeah.
high probability.
I mean, if you have a nice watch, you don't wear it out all the time. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
'Cause-
So you heard it here. Mikey's comparing his girlfriend to property. Okay.
Yeah.
Yes, you
Yes.
do.
No.
Yeah, and if she has any problem with that, she'll come in this room right. No, I'm just playing. Don't kill me.
Well, if she has a
Girl better
problem
get
with
to
that,
stepping.
she'll Come
Yeah.
talk to me because I'll treat her the way a person's supposed to be treated,
Oh.
like a human being. She's
I was
not
thinking
property.
more. I was thinking more
She's
something along the
gold.
lines of worn up
She
to
would
your
be gold,
wrist,
and I
but
would be privileged to have, and I would wear it on me and appreciate every moment
like
that
a
she was
fine
on me.
perfume.
Yeah.
So, contrary to popular belief, I am an incredible boyfriend.
Aw.
Incredible boyfriend. I'm an
but
asshole to
we
all of
do.
you. I'm an asshole to all of
He
you
cooks, he
because it's fun.
cleans,
I do.
multiple orgasms, plays guitar.
I do.
Mikey has
Dude,
hit
you
on
like the
me a
black
few
version
times,
of
I don't
me.
know.
Brandon, you promised you wouldn't tell. You promised.
Had to. You were lying.
You don't know that.
Uh,
You're guessing that, but it's
yeah, I guess I
I value my relationship.
speaking?
My dog loves to. Whenever he hears me talking, he goes, "Cool. Let me go get my squeaky ball. Be right back."
So
And
how
then
long
he
have you
goes
been
and
off
gets
the
it.
market now? How long has it been? So you met her at that
We've
party,
been
or was it disco?
No, we met at the Sum 41 concert.
Yeah, some disco. Yeah. Once you stood, if I remember correctly, once you
No,
stood
it was a
up or
pop punk
something,
band.
and you met her.
Something like that. There was
Yeah.
a miscommunication on time.
Yeah, it's called being stood up.
And I was super salty about it.
But it sounds like it was
I brought it up.
advantageous.
Just a
So
misunderstanding.
yeah.
I brought it up about a month later, and she's like, "Really?" I was like, "Yeah, I was dragging you through the mud. I was pissed." She's like, "Oh, yeah, it wasn't that." And I was like, "Oh, well, I already said it, and I'm not taking it back."
Isn't that the worst
I'm
when you jump to
surprised you didn't get
conclusions?
murdered in your sleep for that.
I hate that. I do, and I'm guilty of it myself sometimes. And I fight for it, but
I've had
yeah.
self-worth issues my entire
it
life.
sucks.
So then,
You always think the worst
so then
sometimes.
yeah, I think I'm like, oh, well,
Oh,
she's
Steve,
just
Steve
blowing me
ghosts
off.
me all the time.
I do. I
all the time.
I was supposed to meet her in Vegas, and I don't know what happened there. I was supposed to, I went by myself and had a great time.
I mean, I went by myself and had a great time too. I had like 3 rings on my finger.
Yeah.
I don't know which one's valid at this point.
You know how I know you're lying? Because Vegas is shut down.
Whoa.
Did
No,
they
this
shut
is
down
before
the
it
show?
was shut down.
It is now.
Oh God, but oh my God, I
Damn.
do. Now I want to go to
I've never
Vegas.
been to
God damn
Vegas.
you.
I
I know, and I
thought
want to
you
take
said
you,
that.
but COVID.
Holy crap.
Somebody take me to Vegas.
Man.
Hey,
They get second
Open.
dibs. I get first dibs, and after that, I don't give a shit. Anybody else can
Hey,
get to Vegas.
Or whoever like pays up first.
Yeah.
Sweet,
So-
which state? Sweet, do you live in California?
Fuck no.
I live in Massachusetts.
Thanks
the
for
opposite
reminding
of
me of that.
California.
sucks. That
Whoa.
sucks.
They are.
She wouldn't
Well,
have.
not
She would have
politically,
considered
not
the
politically
the West Coast. She's an Eastern-born baby child. That's oh, I have to stay by the Atlantic Ocean.
Oh,
What?
that look. Oh boy.
You said you would
Um,
never. You said you would never leave the East Coast.
No, what?
Or is this some other woman I talked to?
Uh-oh.
Uh-oh. Got to keep them straight. You got to get a little notebook.
There's
You
more
gotta
than
get
one
a roll-
sweet.
Yeah.
Did you once tell me that you always would stay somewhere on the East
no.
Coast? So you like the East Coast?
This
You
is
don't.
why Hellbound's my new boyfriend.
Right? I get it now. I
Anyways.
understand it. He's probably got better feet too. But what the hell? So wait. I thought you had an
You want him
aversion to
'cause
like
his feet are big.
California.
Oh, man.
Except
to
if I
move
visit.
permanently?
Yeah,
Like,
you always wanted to stay on the
permanently
East
forever?
Coast, right? Yeah, that's what I was saying. See, you are the right sweet. God, I thought I was losing my mind. There's more than one of you. I didn't know which version I was talking to for the day. You know.
Well, I'm a born and raised New Englander. Of course, I have.
So
I mean,
I
I'm
was born and raised
comfortable here.
California, but I lived in New England. Connecticut's
When?
New England, right?
Not really.
Technically.
No.
Oh. Isn't it-
Technically, yeah, but
Is it?
no.
Because I don't remember. I know it's Massachusetts,
It's not
Boston, Vermont.
coastal.
Okay.
It's a completely different.
Oh, and by the way,
environment.
Michael, no, I wasn't confusing women. It's just Sweet has multiple personalities sometimes. I don't know which one.
Ah.
It's like chocolate. You never know which one you're going to get.
Oh, you mean racist now? Now you
How's
mean
chocolate racist? I like white chocolate too.
The shovel, Steve, you got it by both hands right now. So what I need you to do is to hold it in one hand and then hold it in no hand.
And I'm
Hold it
sober
in one
too.
hand.
I haven't even had a
Hold
drop
it
of
in
drink
no hand.
tonight.
Come on.
Just wrap your mouth around that.
Yeah.
Hashtag drop the shovel.
This is going south. Really
You know what? I've realized something though, Sweet. Sober rum and coke night for me is not. I got to drink more. I got to drink more. Can't do it anymore.
And Sweet, there's no need to go to Vegas. Think of a house party when you were like 20. That's 30 seconds from being out of control, and that's the Vegas Strip.
So I
not-
do want to go
Yeah.
to Vegas.
Yep.
It's
That's-
not even.
I like
much
Vegas
it.
as everything's open 24 hours a day.
but it's
I mean,
not even fun. It's just
it is
like,
fun.
oh, all of you are idiots and are wildly out of control.
Yes.
I can't get
That's
down
fun.
if
That's,
I
yeah,
have
that's
to-
fun.
What if I'm wildly out of control?
right, but then I
There we
think
go.
someone in the party has to be like, guys, the floor is about to cave in. Someone needs to be that person. They don't have
Yeah,
that.
you can
person.
go with us.
All right, so that's you. So we bring you along
Yeah.
for that.
I'm okay with that.
All right, we have a plan. We're gonna bring
Okay.
Mikey along. He's gonna be my
Okay.
brother.
Mhm.
He's
Mikey's
make
going
sure
to
I'm
be
okay,
hand of the queen. He's going
and
to
we'll
be
have
hand
a
of
good
the
time.
queen.
Yes.
I'll get one of those the little tiles with the GPS tracker on it. Just keep that on you somewhere. I don't know where, and then I'll just come scoop up.
Can we bring
You're
Manya and
drunken
no,
mess.
Manya and you are not related, Sweet, so everything's okay.
I'll just come around in the morning like a dog catcher and just like go out there with a net and try and catch you guys or reel you back in, hydrate you and put you back on planes.
Manya and Sweet on the strip. What could go wrong there? No, I mean, gee.
Oh my gosh, we would ditch you so fast.
Oh,
Are
and
you
I'd
kidding?
expect it. No,
Like,
I mean,
we
it
would
would,
be like, God,
listen,
be in our own
listen.
direction.
Listen.
Hey, let's
Listen,
go.
last time
That way.
I took somebody to Vegas, I took an ex-girlfriend to Vegas, right? And
Why?
the very last night we were there, because I had a thing for her, and for like 4 years I tried to get her back. Then I wish I hadn't, but
Yeah.
Live and learn.
so seriously, like 4 years later, I mean, we decided to go to Vegas after having a very bad breakup kind of thing. But anyways, we went to Vegas and had a great time first 2 nights, right? It was like the hell fun. Third night, she's like, "Oh, hey, I'm gonna head off with these other guys here," and I'm just sitting at the bar, and I'm like, "You gonna do what?" Wait,
So messed up.
you're gonna do what? I was like, no, because I have a rule. You come with me, you leave with me. And I was like, look, if I had gone upstairs and it was last night we were there.
That rule should be: you come with me, you come with me.
Yes. Well, that was the first 2 nights. Yeah.
There we go.
Yeah.
That's a good little
But I was like, holy. So when Mikey's talking about, this insecurity type thing, we have shit happen to us too, and it sucks. I mean, that was
Everybody
what-
does.
what-
That's the thing.
And then we
That's why
fought. We
happens
had a
if she
4-hour
doesn't?
drive. We had a 4-hour drive
Stop.
back the next day. We didn't talk.
Stop making it about the sexes. It's not how that works.
But I think
People are assholes.
People,
But I think
just
this
people in general, right? That's true.
But I
That's
think-
true.
People can be assholes.
Yes, that's true.
But I really, I
Yes.
really truly think that this is just our way to try to empathize and say that yes, and this happened to me, and then we get told, no, don't say that. It's like I think they're just trying to relate. You know what I mean? They're just trying to share stories.
Yeah,
But
he
then
was
we
like,
get
"Oh,
told
you're
that
you're
we're-
you're man hating or you're woman hating because you're talking about
Yeah.
this scenario." It's like, no, because we're not saying that's how all men or women act.
God's auditor
It's
says Monty's not
because
ready.
this is wrong.
God's auditor says Monty's not
What?
ready for Vegas. Well, I'll tell you what. What I'm going to do is I'm going to allow Sweet be the judge. When she thinks Manya is ready for Vegas, she'll let us know.
I'll babysit her.
Yeah, she'll let us know.
Manya's
Yes,
way
ma'am.
ready
I'm a
for
great
Vegas.
babysitter.
Yes.
Manya was born ready for Vegas.
Oh, and by the way, no, we're not kidding about this. I'm not joking about this. We will get. I said we were going to get Manu to the States somehow. We are going to have I don't know if it would be a non sequitur type get together or whatever it is. We will figure something out. But yes, this will happen sometime probably next year. Yes.
Oh, well, we'll have our
Yeah.
celebration at some point.
Yes.
Can I
Is
change
there
the subject
champagne?
completely?
There's champagne and a white T-shirt that I have that need to get acquainted.
No, you already. No,
Oh,
wait.
nice.
You already told me that was reserved for what? For what now? When did we
For
do that?
Manya. That's just for Manya.
No.
Oh.
There's one other time. There's one other time. What was the time?
Huh?
You said there'd be. Oh my God! Am I talking to the same Sweet?
What happened?
Champagne and your boobs.
I think the
and
your
No,
celebrate.
you're
microphone's
not,
breaking up.
Steve, because
Yeah.
I'm here. That's
So
why.
celebrate. What are we going to celebrate?
I'm sorry, you have a lag. What?
What are we going to celebrate? There's one other time. Champagne and boobs to celebrate what?
Wait. You're breaking up. Sorry, what?
Steve,
Oh my
I think you're
God.
going through a tunnel.
Wow. I mean, really? Okay, let's hey Mikey, when do you think that would be what would we be celebrating?
Come again? There's a static.
Red?
It has
Sounds
nothing
like
to
you must be in
even do with
battle
us.
with the goddamn
show back.
Nothing.
When I get the non
nothing.
sequitur show back,
Oh.
She told me that-
I'm gonna take a bath in champagne.
yeah.
That is the idea.
Ooh, that's going to be awesome.
And it will be either broadcast live or in a GIF at some point.
Ooh.
You should do it.
Why do you think I want the
pay-per-view.
goddamn channel back? It ain't to start the show again.
Then
Sweet,
do it live.
Pay-per-view.
Kidding. I want the show back for multiple reasons. but yes.
Oh wait, I'm sorry. Hellbound, are you advocating for me profiting off of my sexuality?
Oh,
For that, yes,
Oh.
you'll make.
Oh.
Yeah, for that, yeah. That's
Oh,
okay.
no.
That's
Now,
why she's
Sweet-
reserving herself for then, because it's worth
Now
more.
I'm drunk.
Now, Sweet,
She wants to cheap for her value as a woman. Okay, whatever.
Now hold on, Hellbound. Sweet, are you saying that would be profitable, and if I did the same thing, it wouldn't be profitable? Is that what you're?
Well, you have
I would-
equal opportunity to attempt to make it
With that
profitable.
Adonis body,
I
Mikey? Come on.
personally-
Mike,
Do a Madonna
If
thing.
I
will
was,
pay
if I
you
was not,
twice
if
the
I
amount
was
I
Mike,
would
not
I'd like to
here,
see
I
that.
would
I
go.
would actually like to see that, and I will make the starting contribution if you want.
Champagne and
What
rose
you
petals.
say?
Do it.
I mean, we can even up that. It
gotta
could
be
be
live.
no rose
It could be
petals.
me and Manya and Nikki and Chesh, and we can all just like spray the champagne on each other. That would be
that would break the internet right though.
You're gonna break the internet.
Yes, it would. I'm just what?
Well, we already, yeah. I
Kill.
mean, we've already included them anyways because Jessica, she can't come across the border right now because everything's locked down, but she is planning to cross the border at some point.
That's the plan because feminism.
Because feminism, right? And I like that kind of feminism. Do what you want.
That's my
Yes.
kind of feminism.
That's my kind of. Yeah, that's my kind of feminism. Yes. Well, it's so funny too because you have these hardcore feminists like, well, women are degraded when they show, nudity and stuff. And I'm like, wait a minute, isn't that their choice? And to me, it makes them. I don't think. I don't think.
No,
I don't think it diminishes women at all. If anything, it's
I'm
fucking
gonna shake my
empowerment.
booty. I'm
All
gonna shake my
about your
booty. Okay.
choice.
Hmm.
Yeah. As soon as you take away a woman's choice, you can't claim feminism anymore.
Right.
Yeah.
I see that.
It's
Makes
that
sense.
simple.
Right. And then
It's that simple.
you can't condemn somebody for hey, look, this is what I enjoy doing. I feel good doing it. I want people to appreciate it. I'm okay with that. I'm okay with that. I mean, like, shouldn't people like to be appreciated? I mean, yeah.
I like being appreciated. Sweet. Why did you stop praising me? Start again.
Look, we've created a
Did I
goddamn
stop praising
monster.
you?
Yeah.
Exactly.
Now Manya just needs attention.
You beautiful, amazing unicorn, you.
Yeah.
I did not mean to stop praising you.
She'll tell you more
Speaking
details
of-
when I won't get taken
Oh,
off
we have
YouTube.
those private conversations, later.
Oh yeah.
So hey,
Speaking-
Steve, I
go
don't know if you want to talk about this, but have you heard anything about the non sequitur show?
Just right now, the courts are. The court clerk has said, "Hey, we know we got to take care of this. It's on the top of the list. Put a supplemental thing in, and that way maybe we'll move on that. And
So
they
it's still,
know.
still in limbo.
Yeah, it's
It's still
only
in-
because they don't
in
know how.
motion?
Yeah, they haven't decided how they're going to do the hearings yet.
I see. Okay.
Because they don't
Thanks.
know, they want to minimize the people in the gallery. They don't know if they're going to be doing it over the computer. And I'm like, oh no, I want Kyle to be in the courtroom. So
Yeah.
and I'm sure he wants to stand in front of the judge too. And I don't know why. Well, I kind of do. I think he wants to tell his bullshit story, but that's not what he'd be there for. So let him try. But the judge will shut him down if he has to go in order to show cause, and he has to go in front of the judge to show why he hasn't complied. They don't give a shit about his story. They just want to know why he hasn't complied. That is it.
Yeah, with receipts. With
Yeah, they don't.
receipts, not
It's
just
not
the
about running
story.
your story at that point. Is the lawyer gets to direct the questions and says.
And then, so you still haven't gotten the passwords or anything?
No, he hasn't done shit. No, and he's going to prolong along as long as possible. Even though he said that he would pay me, which he lied about, and that he said he would give me a link to all the passwords. He never did. He said that if the judge orders him to turn off the channel, he would. He lied about that because the judge did. So yeah, he's just everything. He's lied about literally everything from day one. And this is the guy that's supposed to be like the honest guy in the community, right? The atheist, friend of everybody kind of thing. And he turns out to be the biggest liar in the community.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I mean, what are you
Yeah,
gonna
he
do,
makes
right?
us all look really bad.
Yeah. But anyways, on that note, I am going to wrap this up. This was fun, guys. But you stick around. There might be an after show off air, maybe. Just kicking it. So, Mikey gets all wild. You guys don't even know.
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah,
Ooh,
Mikey.
Kyle
Mikey
went
gets
wild.
nuts.
Onlyfans.com/Mikey Famine.
And it's going to be a white T-shirt and champagne, right?
But for me, it'd
Wait.
probably be like a monster.
Rose petals.
Wait, were you talking
Rose
white
petals.
T-shirt or just a tank top? Because I think a tank top.
Oh, is it tank top? Oh, okay. So
No,
tank
I'm
top
making-
champagne.
I'm doing audible. I'm changing it to a tank top. Yeah.
Yeah. It's a tank top.
You can let me know right before I record.
All right, guys. Good night. Thank you for the super chats. Thank you for the questions. This was really fun. I think tomorrow I might stream tomorrow. I think maybe Mad Rabbit in the live chat I think maybe wants to stream tomorrow about 5 o'clock Central, a little after 5 o'clock Central, and so we might do that, and that might be pretty interesting because he wanted to kind of tell me how he kind of changes minds on things, and that I like to hear because I like to hear what thought process people go to when they do change their minds because it doesn't happen very often, So, all right, guys. Good night, Manya. Give a kiss to everybody. I'm telling her what to do. Let me white box her real quick. Hey,
Yes.
I gotta wait. No, how did I got Brandon.
Oh, there it is.
Wait. No, Manya, say something so I
me?
can pin you.
I didn't.
What should I say?
Ah, god damn it! I keep getting. God, how do I keep getting
Oh, you
Brandon?
spoke over her. What the hell is wrong with you?
There we go. I don't know what I'm doing.
Everybody
Okay.
have a good night. Enjoy yourself. And yeah.
Enjoy yourself.
Good night.
That's perfect.
Mwah.